Imagine living a life unaffected by the chaos of the world, resistant to the urban flow of fortune, and strong enough to withstand the difficulties that life will surely bring your way. It sounds like an impossible dream, doesn't it? Would you believe me if I told you that the key to that kind of life has been around for thousands of years, just waiting for you to find it? Welcome to a very special video, a complete guide to the world of Stoicism. We are frequently carried away by the waves of emotions, distractions, and worldly desires in our chaotic modern lives, which are often accompanied by noise and hurry. Stoicism offers a way to find inner peace, self-control, and mental toughness. It is firm and immovable like a rock. Mastering the art of letting go is the first thing we need to do on this road. You will learn not only how to tell the difference between things you can control and things you can't, but also how to let go of the things you can't control. We can clear out our inner and outer worlds through Stoicism and Minimalism, making room for more meaningful activities. Making room in our lives for what really counts is the first step. The next step is to strengthen our willpower. Building self-discipline is the Stoic way to become great. It's about developing values, controlling your urges, and living a life that doesn't follow society's ever-changing whims, but instead follows unchanging principles that make you happy. Now that we are focused, we face the problems in life head-on. That's where the mind that can't be broken comes in. We're going to talk about 10 strong lessons that will give you the mental toughness you need to get through life's big waves. Being optimistic isn't the point. The point is to build strong mental models that help you stay strong when things go wrong. Last but not least, get ready to free your mind. You will learn 10 life-changing lessons from Stoicism that will help you break free from the limits you put on yourself. You can take control of your emotions and actions and drastically improve the quality of your life if you know how to pull the right mental buttons. You can become impervious to the chaos of the outside world by following the Stoic advice we'll discuss today. It gives you a peace and happiness that nothing outside of yourself can take away. It's a trip to learn the art of living a life full of virtue, knowledge, and unbreakable strength. Now, take a deep breath. Prepare to learn, feel more confident, and gain freedom as we explore the modern-day Stoics' knowledge. What if you woke up in a peaceful place where everything you own has a place and a purpose? Your heart is happy, and your mind is clear. You know that the only things you can control are your thoughts and deeds, so you can face the storms of life with a strong heart. It's not impossible to reach these seemingly impossible goals. In fact, the way to a meaningful life is at the heart of both Minimalism and Stoicism, two philosophies that were created hundreds of years apart. Welcome to Minimalism and Stoicism, letting go for a meaningful life. In this video, we'll start a journey that will help you find a life that you not only live, but also love. First, let's talk about the growing modern minimalist trend. Minimalism is more than just a style, it's a way of life. It's about getting rid of the things that aren't important, the junk that makes our thoughts and places heavy, and focused on the things that make our lives better. Minimalism started as an art trend that emphasized realism and simplicity in the middle of the 20th century. It slowly crept into many areas of culture, such as music, building, and way of life. People are turning to minimalism to get back their time, space, and mental focus. They are discovering that getting rid of the physical mess helps them build relationships, follow their hobbies, and enjoy a level of depth that material things can't provide. Now, let's go back in time to the busy streets of ancient Athens, where Stoicism first appeared around the 3rd century BC. Like minimalism, Stoicism is about making things simpler, but its main focus is on making things simpler inside. The philosophy teaches that the best way to live a happy life is to build self-control, logic, and ethics. Stoicism helps people figure out what they can control and what they can't. It encourages people to focus on what they can control and let go of what they can't. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, three Stoic philosophers, taught us that what makes us happy is not what is happening around us, but rather our perceptions and responses to it. Letting go is what connects minimalism and Stoicism. Minimalism tells us to get rid of unnecessary things in our bodies, and Stoicism teaches us how to let go of mental loads and ties. Both philosophies are based on the idea that there is freedom in simplicity and separation, which means freedom to live a meaningful, happy life. We will learn a lot about the subtleties of both minimalism and Stoicism in this film. We'll talk about where they came from, what they stand for, and how they can improve people's lives. We will also talk about how to apply these philosophies to our everyday lives and compare and contrast them. For example, case studies and anecdotes will show us how these ideas have changed the lives of real people. Finally, we will talk about what we have learned and encourage you to start using parts of minimalism and Stoicism that work for you. As we begin this illuminating trip through the worlds of minimalism and Stoicism, get ready to have your ideas about what it means to live a fulfilling life challenged. To live a meaningful life, you need to plan ahead, be good, and be brave enough to let go of what isn't important. Let's go down this road together. Now, let's get into the first part of our conversation, which is about what minimalism is. The minimalist movement as we know it today did not start by itself. Like many other art forms that came out in the late 1950s and early 1960s, it has its roots in music and visual arts. It was not thought that art had to be complicated in order to be meaningful, so these types of art focused on using simple things. As time went on, this idea changed into living minimalism. People started to question the consumerist culture that ruled society in the early 2000s, which is when minimalism became popular as a way of life. They wanted a life that was less complicated and more meaningful, without all the things that come with it. This is where the modern minimalist movement got its start. It's a reaction to the excesses of capitalism and the search for happiness beyond material wealth. The fundamental principles that underpin minimalism will now be discussed in greater detail. To begin with, minimalism is all about making things easier. It means getting rid of the extra, the pointless, and the annoying things so that you can focus on what really counts. This could mean getting rid of junk in your house, making your schedule more manageable, or even cutting back on social media. Making a space in your mind and body that shows your values and priorities is what it's all about. This is the second core principle, being mindful. Making choices about what to keep and what to let go of is an important part of minimalism. It's not just about getting rid of things. Does this add value to my life? Does this align with my goals and values? Is what intentionality means. It means living with a purpose instead of just sliding through life. It's about making decisions that show what kind of life you want to live. In the third aspect, quality is more important than number. People in a consumerist culture are often told that more is better. This idea is questioned by minimalism. Less isn't better just for the sake of less. It's about having the right things. Instead of collecting a bunch of useless things, it's better to put your money into good things and relationships that will last. Let's look at the many advantages of leading a simple lifestyle while keeping these principles in mind. To begin, minimalism can help you think more clearly. Getting rid of trash and other things that get in the way can help us concentrate and be creative. Not having to deal with the chaos around us frees up our minds to think more clearly and make better choices. Financial freedom is another huge gain. By planning what we buy and putting quality over number, we can cut down on spending a lot that isn't necessary. There may be savings, less debt, and the ability to spend money on meaningful activities and hobbies. The environmental impact of minimalism is also favorable. Our carbon impact gets smaller when we use less. Making and throwing away things are two of the main things that hurt the earth. We are not only making our own lives better when we choose to live with less and make decisions that are good for the world when we do so. As with any trend, though, minimalism has its share of bad press and misunderstandings. One complaint that is often made is that being able to choose to live with less is a luxury that not everyone can enjoy. Some people also say that minimalism can turn into another form of consumerism if people keep buying new minimalist things to replace the ones they already have. Some people also think that minimalism means living with very little, or that it's an answer that works for everyone. It's important to remember that minimalism is not a rule, but a tool. This is a way to make a life that fits your values and priorities, and can be changed to fit your needs and tastes. Although these complaints are important to look at, it is important to remember that minimalism is not a goal. Instead, it is a process of self-discovery and purpose. It's not a rigid set of rules, but a philosophy that can be changed to fit different wants and ways of life. Minimalism doesn't expect us to be perfect. Instead, it pushes us to make progress and be aware of the choices we make. In the same way, minimalism shouldn't just be seen as an advantage. The core principles of purpose and focusing on quality over number can be motivating for people from all social groups, even though some parts of minimalism may be easier to adopt for those in a more stable financial situation. It can be about making the most of what you have and being happy with simplicity, no matter how many things you have. To clear up the false idea that minimalism means living a simple or poor life, it is also important to note that minimalism is not always about having a certain number of things. Finding what is meaningful and getting rid of what isn't is what it's all about. For some, this could mean a home with only the things they need, while for others, it could mean a carefully chosen collection of things that make them happy and serve a purpose. Thanks a lot. The philosophy of minimalism is deep and alive, and it's more than just getting rid of stuff. It's about making a life with meaning, purpose, and happiness by focusing on quality, simplifying, and making smart choices. Minimalism helps people get clear on their thoughts, be financially free, and protect the earth. But, like any philosophy, it has its critics and people who get it wrong. You should go into minimalism with an open mind, knowing that it is a tool that can be used in many ways to create a meaningful life. As the movie goes on, we'll look into the old knowledge of Stoic philosophy and see how, like minimalism, it can help us let go of the extra in our lives, both outside and inside. Our discussion will focus on the similarities and differences between these two philosophies, as well as how they can be used together to make our lives more fulfilling. Stay tuned as we go on a trip through time and thought, pulling apart the threads of Stoicism and minimalism and stitching them into a fabric of happiness, purpose, and purpose. This is a call to rise to a life that is lived with awareness, integrity, and meaning, not just to purge or to be stoic in the face of hardship. May this trip make you think, question, and open up to the endless possibilities that lie in the simplicity and wisdom of Stoicism and minimalism. As we leave the modern rooms of minimalism, let us go back in time to the world of ancient times, where Stoicism began. Stoicism is a school of Greek philosophy that began in Athens in the early 3rd century BC. The Stoic philosophy was founded by Xenophon of Citium, who taught from the Stoa Poikile, a painted porch. Then, in ancient Rome, Stoicism became very popular and was one of the most important philosophies during the Roman Empire. Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius are the three most important people in Stoic philosophy. In his letters and writings, Seneca, a Roman politician and writer, talks about how Stoic ideas can be used in everyday life. Epictetus, a famous Stoic teacher, was born as a slave in what is now Turkey. His Enchiridion and Discourses are important works that provide useful tips on living a good life. Last but not least, Marcus Aurelius, who was Emperor of Rome, is sometimes called the Philosopher King. His meditations, which he wrote while he was in the army, show what he really thought about right and wrong, duty, and the meaning of life. The first of the Stoic principles that claims our attention is reason. To the Stoics, reasoning and reason were the most important things in the world. They stressed the importance of using logic to understand and get around in the world. People thought that this logical way of thinking would lead to virtue and peace because it let people make choices that were in line with nature and morality. The second idea is that you can control how responses happen. For Stoics, there is a clear line between what we can control and what we can't. We have complete control over our ideas, perceptions, and deeds, but we cannot influence the outside world. We can stay calm in tough situations by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. The third principle is to seek virtue as the best thing that can happen. Stoic virtue includes knowledge, bravery, justice, and temperance, in addition to moral goodness. They thought that the key to happiness and satisfaction was to live a good life that was in tune with reason and nature. So, how can this old philosophy help us deal with problems? Stoicism teaches us to separate ourselves from the chaos and look at things objectively through the lens of reason when we are confronted with difficulties. By doing this, we can keep our emotions from getting in the way of our decisions and act in a way that is consistent with our values. It tells us to look at problems not as bad things that happen, but as chances to learn and grow. Let's jump ahead to the present day. Even though it's an old philosophy, its ideas are still relevant today. Stoicism gives us a way to find our way through the storms in a world that is becoming more unstable and unsure. Cognitive behavioral therapy is a popular way to help mental health problems. Its focus on reason and control over responses is similar to this theory. Leaders in the business world are also using Stoic principles to make smart choices and build resilience in their teams. This philosophy gives people who are interested in personal growth tools they can use to strengthen their minds and live purposeful, honest lives. Practices like writing, awareness, and self-reflection that encourage living in line with one's values are becoming part of everyday life. Stoicism is a philosophy that dates back to old Greece and Rome. It enables people to lead lives of happiness and moral integrity thanks to its central principles of reason, control over responses, and desire of virtue. It can be used as a guide in a world that is always changing, from the lessons of Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius to current psychology and leadership. As we learn more about Stoicism, it's important to remember that it's more than just a set of logical thoughts. It's a call to action. The message tells us to develop a smart and good mind, to know what we can control and let go of what we can't, and to see problems as chances to grow as people. This is a call to live wisely, as well as with thought. After going into great detail about Stoic philosophy, we now come to an interesting point where minimalism and Stoicism meet. Although they came about at different times and in different situations, both philosophies are based on the idea of letting go of things that are too much, whether they are material things or mental constructs, and finding a life that is meaningful, happy, and in line with our values. In the next sections, we'll look at how these two philosophies work together and how they differ, as well as how they can be used in our daily lives. We will talk about how the knowledge and virtue of Stoicism can be added to the purpose and simplicity of minimalism. These philosophies can work together to create a strong foundation for a life that is not only clear and strong, but also deeply meaningful. With an open mind and a desire to learn, let us start this journey of discovery. We should be ready to question our beliefs, break out of old habits, and accept new ways of doing things. The ideas of minimalism and Stoicism invite us to go on a trip that is both about letting go and finding out what is really important to hold on to. This journey isn't just about ideas, it's also very emotional. We are all being asked to think about the choices we are making, the lives we are living, and the values we are supporting. It's a call to let go of what's extra and choose what's important, to stop the noise and choose knowledge, to let go of what's temporary and choose what will last forever. Together, let us follow the path of minimalism and Stoicism to a life that is not just lived, but loved, not just endured, but honored, and not just short, but meaningful. At one point, Stoicism and minimalism stand next to each other as we walk the road of discovery. Though they came out hundreds of years apart, these two strong philosophies have a lot in common as well as clear differences. Now, let's take a close look at the tapestry they've made. Let's start with what they have in common. In the first place, both stress the importance of seeking simplicity and focus. Minimalism tells us to make our lives easier by getting rid of unnecessary things and clearing out our places. When it comes to our inner lives, Stoicism tells us to keep things simple by being reasonable and focused on what we can control. In both philosophies, we are told to get rid of what isn't important so that we can focus on what does. The second thing they have in common is getting rid of extra. In the philosophy of minimalism, this means getting rid of things that don't make our lives better. Stoicism is about letting go of excessive desires, emotions, and ties that obstruct our pursuit of virtue and cloud our judgment. Both philosophies agree that too much, whether it's physical waste or mental chaos, can get in the way of living a happy life. The third thing they have in common is that they both stress being happy inside. The idea of minimalism teaches us that happiness doesn't come from having more things, but from living a life with meaning. Stoicism, on the other hand, holds that happiness comes from living in harmony with nature and reason, not from receiving praise or money from other people. So let's look at the things that are different. The first difference is how they fit into history and culture. Modern minimalism grew out of a reaction against consumerism and having too many things. It was mostly popular in the Western world. But Stoicism comes from old Greece and Rome. It was an intellectual reaction to people's search for happiness and virtue in a world that was full of chaos. What's different about the second one is its reach and use. Minimalism is mostly about the real parts of our lives. It tells us to clear out our places and think about what we buy. Stoicism, on the other hand, looks at our internal ideas, emotions, and character, in addition to our outward situations. The third difference is in what drives each person. A lot of people who are minimalists want to make their lives more open, free, and sharp. It's about taking care of your surroundings. However, Stoicism has its roots in moral philosophy. It's about taking care of your soul and spirit. The Stoic is driven by a sense of duty to live in a way that is in line with reason and nature. When we think about these ways the philosophies are alike and different, we can see that they are like two sides of the same coin. They both show us how to live a simple, focused, and happy life. But they do it in different ways and with different tools. If you will, think of minimalism as a way to get around in the real world by clearing out our areas and narrowing our actions. Stoicism is the guidance that helps us manage our thoughts, emotions, and character with virtue and knowledge as we travel through the internal seas. They work well together to make something powerful. Adding the focus and simplicity of minimalism to the wisdom and virtue of Stoicism can help us make a life that is not only clear and focused, but also deeply meaningful and in line with our greatest values. Not only should we pick one philosophy, but we should pick both. Let's instead see them both as helpful guides that work together. The guide of Stoicism will keep us on a path that is true to who we are and what we value. Let minimalism be the ship that moves us forward. Let's take a moment to think about this. Take a moment to think about the places we live and the things we keep around us. Are they useful, or are they just extra stuff? Now, look inside yourself. Consider our words, feelings, and deeds. Are they in line with our values, or are they all over the place? Let's take with us the core of Stoicism's call to knowledge and minimalism's call to simplicity as we move forward. Let's be like builders and carefully plan a life that meets our deepest needs for meaning and happiness. Even though the two philosophies come from different places and have different goals, they both aim to help us live a life that is simple and full of what's important. Minimalism tells us to clean up the outside world, and Stoicism pushes us to control the inside world. We discover a road that leads not only to simplicity or knowledge, but also to a life that is deeply meaningful in their convergence. As we stand at the intersection of these two philosophies, we have the power and the tools to shape our journey. It will be as unique as each of us, but it will be focused on the goal of a more meaningful and happy life. It's not always easy to go on this trip. Sometimes you have to be brave and let go. Each step we take on this road, though, weaves together threads of simplicity, knowledge, purpose, and happiness to make a fabric. Let's take the flames of Stoicism and minimalism with us as we enter the world of practical application with open hearts and minds. Let us learn more about these old philosophies, combine their ideas, and live by their lessons. Let us keep moving forward by being thankful for the knowledge that has been passed down through the years and for the chance to make it a part of our lives. The actual application of these philosophies will be covered in the following section. We will talk about ways to incorporate Stoicism and minimalism into your daily life, creating a fabric that is not only straightforward and wise, but also deeply and deeply meaningful. Thanks a lot. The merging of these philosophies into our daily lives is a crucial step on our journey as we make our way through the rich fabric that is minimalism and Stoicism. Here is where the theory turns into practice and where we take the first steps toward living a more meaningful life. Let's get started by talking about how to put simple principles into practice in real life. First, clean up your actual room. Take a look at what you own and ask yourself if it serves a purpose or makes you happy. If not, you might want to let them go. You can take your time with this. Start with one room or even just one box and work your way up. Second, be aware of what you're consuming. Think about whether the thing is important and in line with your values before you buy it. You can use this way of thinking in other areas of your life, like partnerships and responsibilities. Last but not least, put quality over number. Spend money on things and people that will make your life better. This doesn't always mean spending money. It could also mean giving time and care. Now, let's talk about how to use Stoic philosophy to make choices and deal with situations. To start, work on the duality of control. Know what you can control and what you can't. Events outside of your control are out of your hands, but you can choose how to respond and what to do. When you're facing a problem, ask yourself what you can control and put your attention on those. Second, think about your values and make choices based on them. Stoicism tells us that being good is the best thing that can happen. Choose to act in a way that is honest, trustworthy, and caring. Lastly, regularly practice being aware and thinking about yourself. Take some time to think about the things you did, the choices you made, and the emotions you experienced. This practice helps you become more logical and emotionally strong. How can we find a balance between Stoicism and minimalism for our own growth? All of this must work together. Stimulate your surroundings with minimalism to support your values and goals, and train your mind to be strong, focused, and good with Stoicism. It's also important to know that Stoicism and minimalism are not either-or ways of thinking. They are flexible and can be changed to fit your needs and goals. Be steady, take small steps, and be ready to change how you do things as you learn and grow. Here are some examples of real people who have combined the two philosophies to help you understand what I mean. Take a look at the story of Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, who are known as the minimalists. Their business jobs were full of stuff, but didn't give them any meaning, so they both quit. They made their lives easier and more in line with their values by focusing on what they could control and following the principles of Stoicism through minimalism. Another example is businessman and author Tim Ferriss, who has been very open about how Stoicism has changed his life and the way he makes decisions. He has also turned to minimalism, focused on the most important things and people in his life that are in line with his values. Combining Stoicism and minimalism can be a great way to grow as a person and live a more meaningful life. By making our outside world simpler through minimalism and strengthening our minds with Stoicism, we can create a life that is not only free of clutter, but also full of meaning and happiness. As we come to the end of this part, I want you to take a moment to think about what you like about both Stoicism and minimalism. You should think about how you can apply these principles to your own life and how they can help you grow and be happy. Let's keep going down this path together, taking in the knowledge and usefulness that Stoicism and minimalism have to offer. These philosophies can make our lives better, help us let go of the extra, and give us a deep sense of meaning. Let's look at some of them. Before we go any further though, let's be honest. The path to combining minimalism and Stoicism can be very beneficial. There are some problems along the way, and we have to work hard, be committed, and sometimes be ready to leave our comfort zones. It's also important to remember that blending is not a goal, but a path of growth and change that never ends. The way we understand and use these philosophies will change and grow as we do. There is no one-size-fits-all solution, and we will never reach the state of minimalism or Stoicism. They are with us on our lifelong path to becoming fully human. As we go along this road, let's remember to be kind and patient with ourselves. It takes time to make changes, especially ones that affect how we live and think. We will trip and fall sometimes, and that's okay. The important thing is that we get back up, learn from these mistakes, and move forward with more energy and focus. We are not going on this trip by ourselves. An enormous number of people have gone down similar roads, combining minimalism and Stoicism in their search for a more meaningful life. We can learn from their mistakes and be inspired by their stories. It can also comfort us to know that we are not the only ones looking for meaning and happiness. Thank you as we continue to explore. Let's go across time and countries to learn more about the complex philosophies and religions of the East. With its thousands of years of history and thought, the East has a lot to offer people who want to live a meaningful life. It's interesting that Stoicism and minimalism are related in a number of ways. Let's look into these lovely similarities and see how they can make our lives better. Buddhism. The middle way is one of the most important ideas in Buddhism. This idea supports a road of balance and staying away from extremes, which is a lot like minimalism. According to the middle way, we can live a healthy life that is good for our spiritual growth if we don't indulge in either excess or frugality. The Four Noble Truths and the Noble Eightfold Path, which are also part of Buddhism, are instructions for living without ties, which is a concept that fits with Stoic principles. The Four Noble Truths describe human pain and what causes it. The Noble Eightfold Path, on the other hand, gives advice on how to stop suffering through right behavior, right motivation, and right awareness. When we talk about awareness, Buddhism has a long history of focusing on the present moment and meditating. In helping people focus on the current moment and what really counts, these techniques are consistent with Stoic awareness. Focusing on our inner selves and letting go of fleeting emotions are two benefits of meditation. Let's talk about the Tao and Wu Wei when we talk about Taoism. Following the principles of simplicity, naturalness, and non-action is important in Taoism, which is similar to minimalism. Wu Wei means not acting or not doing. It doesn't mean not acting, but rather acting in a way that is in line with the natural flow of things. It's about doing things without thinking and living a simple life. Yin and Yang are also important in Taoism. They stand for balance and unity in nature. In Taoist thinking, this balance is very important. It is also similar to minimalism and Stoicism, which also try to find balance in one's life and emotions. Living in harmony with nature is another component. Following Taoism means living in harmony with the Tao, which is the basic idea that makes everything possible. The Stoic concept of living in harmony with nature to achieve virtue and happiness is very similar to this idea. Hinduism is another old faith in the East that talks a lot about dharma and being simple. Moral responsibility is another name for dharma. It is a way where focus and simplicity are very important. Following your dharma means living a moral and purposeful life, which is similar to the focus of minimalists on being thoughtful. Non-attachment is also important in Hindu philosophy. The idea behind this, which is related to Stoic detachment, tells people not to let their material belongings or fleeting emotions hold them back. In Hinduism, yoga and meditation are not just physical activities. They are also ways to find out more about yourself and match your inner ideals. This is a lot like Stoic self-reflection and getting in line with what is good and reasonable. Confucianism. Finally, let us talk about Confucianism, which has a big impact on Eastern thought. Following the principles of minimalism, Confucianism's doctrine of the mean promotes balance and simplicity. Ren, which means kindness, and Li, which means rituals and right behavior, are also very important in Confucianism. In line with Stoic values, these ideas are about moral qualities and how to act in public. Confucianism also stresses the value of relationships and getting along with others. This shows how important it is for Stoics to be involved in their communities and know that they are part of a bigger whole. Finally, both minimalism and Stoicism have a lot in common with Eastern religions and philosophies. Mindfulness, balance, and not being attached are Eastern ideas that can be found in the principles of minimalism and Stoicism. We can focus on what is important for a happy life by following the advice of both Eastern and Western philosophies. Eastern thought is especially helpful because it focuses on personal growth, getting along with others, and how everything is linked. The lessons can be a great source of knowledge for anyone who wants to live a happier, more meaningful life. As we've seen, minimalism asks us to pare down our material possessions and put more emphasis on quality than number in our lives. Being logical, controlling our emotions, and seeing honor as the best thing is what Stoicism teaches us. Eastern philosophies, with their wide range of beliefs, can teach us a lot about how to live in balance with ourselves and with nature. As you go about your daily life, think about how you could combine these philosophies. For example, you could follow the awareness techniques of Buddhism, the easy action of Taoism's Wu Wei, the moral guide of Hindu Dharma, or the social ideals of Confucianism. Put these together with the simplicity of minimalism and the sense that makes sense of Stoicism. Let's not think of these philosophies as different from one another, but rather as colors that go well together on a canvas that we can use to paint our lives. Getting ideas from both the East and the West can help people of all ages and countries understand and learn from each other. You can find a lot of examples in real life to help you understand. Many people go about their lives without getting much attention. They live simple, good, and balanced lives. They are happy and satisfied not because they have a lot, but because they know what's important. It's not a goal to reach this unification, it's a process. Remember what Lao Tzu said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." This information can be that step for you. Take what the East and West have to say and find your middle ground by simplifying, rationalizing, harmonizing, and finding your way. It might not always be easy to follow this path. You might have to make compromises and tough decisions. But in the end, it gives us something priceless, a life with meaning, happiness, and a strong bond with the world around us. Now that our trip through minimalism, Stoicism, and Eastern philosophies is over, let's take a moment to think about the rich fabric of knowledge we've shown you. We started off by learning about the history of minimalism and its main principles, which are to keep things simple, be purposeful, and put quality before number. We talked about some of the problems and misunderstandings about living a frugal lifestyle and also found the many benefits such as mental clarity, financial freedom, and protecting the environment. We went back in time and learned more about the deepest parts of Stoic philosophy, which comes from Greece and Rome in the Old World. We learned from Stoicism how important it is to be logical, to be able to control our emotions, and to see virtue as the greatest good. We looked at how Stoicism helps people deal with problems and how it is still useful today by reading the writings of philosophers like Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. The next stop on our trip was the place where minimalism and Stoicism meet. We saw strong links between them in their search for simplicity, focus, and inner peace. But we also saw differences in their historical background, scope, and main goals. We talked about how these different philosophies can help us live a more meaningful life by cutting down on the unnecessary things in our lives. In addition, we talked about how to use minimalism and Stoicism in our everyday lives. We talked about how we can organize not only our real places, but also our minds by following simple principles. We also talked about how to use the Stoic philosophy to help us make decisions and deal with the things that happen around us. We saw cases of people in real life who have used both philosophies together to improve themselves. Our journey didn't end there. It got bigger as we crossed the ocean to the eastern shores. We took a look at some of the many Eastern faiths and philosophies that have things in common with minimalism and Stoicism. We found many beliefs that fit with minimalism and Stoicism, such as the middle way in Buddhism, Tao and Wu Wei in Taoism, Dharma in Hinduism, and the doctrine of the mean in Confucianism. Please don't let this be the end of your study. Instead, let it be the start. Think about how you can use the lessons you've learned from Stoicism and minimalism in your everyday life. Try out different things to see what works for you, and don't be afraid to change them to fit your needs. Different people have different ideas about how to live a meaningful and happy life. There isn't a single answer that works for everyone. You have to keep learning, unlearning, and learning again. It's a garden where seeds of knowledge from various philosophies can be planted, and with care and nurturing, they can grow into a life that is full, fulfilling, and in line with one's values and ideals. It is very important to realize that the things we buy, the praise we get, and the social standards we use to judge our own progress are all temporary. The happiness and satisfaction that come from living a life based on simplicity, virtue, and purpose are what last. Finally, let's carry on the knowledge that has been passed down for thousands of years. Let's carry the torch and light the way for each other and ourselves. Explore the world and learn new things, but most of all, look for value. As you go forward, may your life be like a well-written book, where the depth of its writing is more important than its size. May the ideas of minimalism, Stoicism, and Eastern philosophies fill every page of your life with meaning, happiness, and satisfaction. As the great philosopher Seneca once said, "As long as you live, keep learning how to live." Let's keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep moving through life with virtue as our anchor and knowledge as our guide. Thanks for coming along with me on this trip. Your way should be clear, and your heart should lead you to a life that is meaningful and full of happiness. Marcus Aurelius is one of the few people in history who has had such a lasting impact on philosophy and leadership. As Emperor of Rome and a devoted follower of Stoicism, his life was a living example of self-discipline and strength. Today, we'll examine his philosophies in greater detail, look at how he taught and showed self-discipline throughout his life, and find practical ways to incorporate his lessons into our own lives today. Stoicism is based on the ideas of a school of philosophy that starts in ancient Greece and grows during the time of the Roman Empire. Because of what Marcus Aurelius wrote and taught, Stoicism became very famous. Epictetus and Zeno of Cithium, two early Stoic philosophers, made important additions to what we know about Stoic philosophy. As a philosophy, Stoicism stresses the importance of self-discipline, personal virtue, and strength. It offers a way to deal with life's problems, handle and control emotions, and find peace in the middle of chaos in the outside world. The Stoics think that we have full control over our own thoughts, deeds, and emotions, but not over the things that happen around us. The Stoic philosophy gives us a deep understanding of what it means to be human and how we are connected to and a part of the world. When things happen that are out of our control, we should focus on what we can do, like adopting principles like understanding, self-control, and fairness. The way of Stoicism leads to a life of moral purity, change, and personal growth. In the year 165 AD, people living by the Stoic philosophy reached their highest level of devotion. During the Antonine Plague, which killed a lot of people in the Roman Empire. It destroyed the land, took many lives, and caused fear and chaos in the Roman Empire, which resulted in one of the worst depressions in history. During this crisis, Emperor Marcus Aurelius showed amazing leadership skills by blending his unshakable determination with the deep lessons of the Stoic philosophy. He got through the plague by using the Stoic way of thinking, which gave his people security, courage, and hope. The Antonine Plague, which was thought to be an attack of smallpox or measles, hit the Roman Empire with a force that had never been seen before. The plague quickly spread, destroying the empire's social and economic order and making the people afraid because of the chaos and doubt it caused. As a leader, Aurelius saw how important it was to have a way to guide people through this time of chaos and turned to the Stoic philosophy. He looked inside himself for knowledge and strength to help him face the task. Aurelius followed the practice of Stoicism, which says that you should accept the difficulties of life and stay good even when things go wrong. Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Seneca taught him that virtue alone is enough to make someone happy. He also learned that real happiness and power come from inside a person, not from their surroundings. By facing the facts about the plague, Aurelius built up his strength and refused to let fear take over. Instead, he concentrated on his own personality and how he dealt with the problem, which were under his control. Marcus Aurelius set a good example by living by the Stoic values he believed in. He showed unshakable courage and strength by staying strong even when he was going through terrible things and huge problems. Even though it put his health at constant risk, He worked hard to meet the needs of his people, showing understanding and kindness through his actions. He told his people to be strong and find peace within themselves. There was a lot going on in his life, but Stoicism helped him find meaning and purpose. He knew that the plague was a chance to improve himself and help others get stronger. The situation acted as a warning of how short life is and how important it is to live virtuously. Through thinking about how life is temporary, Aurelius told his people to enjoy every moment, put virtue above financial gain, and learn to be thankful even when things are bad. The Roman Empire was strengthened and comforted by Aurelius's use of Stoic philosophy, despite the Antonine Plague's severe suffering. His guidance and strength made it possible for the kingdom to eventually recover and be restored. Today, the lessons of Stoicism that Aurelius taught us are still relevant because they remind us of the strength of the human spirit and the ability to find inner peace even in the worst situations. The worst time for the Roman Empire was during the Antonine Plague. Marcus Aurelius turned to the timeless knowledge of Stoic philosophy when he was faced with this terrible problem. With courage, strength, and knowledge, he led his people through the storm and helped them rebuild their lives. The Stoic way of thinking gives us hope by telling us that even in the worst situations, people can rise above their problems, hold on to hope, and win. Stoic lessons have stayed useful over the years and continue to give smart advice to people who want to figure out how to deal with the complicated things in life. It focuses on resilience, self-discipline, and other traits that give people useful tools for dealing with everyday problems, getting through hard times, and finding meaning in a world that is always changing and becoming more complicated. We will look at some important principles that can help us evaluate our lives, as well as the lessons of famous Stoic philosophers that can help us use the idea of Stoicism in real life. We can start a life-changing journey towards self-discovery, inner peace, and living a happy life by learning about Stoic philosophy. As you know, Marcus Aurelius, who was a famous and important philosopher, fully accepted Stoicism as his driving principle and lived his life according to its rules. Stoicism, which has its roots in ancient Greece and gained popularity during the Roman era, emphasizes the development of virtue and fortitude in the face of difficulties. The goal of self-mastery through self-control and discipline is at the heart of this philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, the respected Roman emperor, was the personification of Stoicism. He lived by its lessons and used them to handle the challenges of his life with unshakable strength and knowledge. Stoicism encourages people to find their inner powers and become more resilient. It also suggests that people improve their moral character by exercising moderation and using knowledge to make sure that everyone is treated fairly. The importance of resilience in dealing with hardship was also recognized by Stoic philosophers. Stoic principles give people the power to take control of their minds and, as a result, their ideas, emotions, and actions, which are always in line with their values and goals. At its core, Stoicism provides a complete framework for personal improvement and the desire of a good and strong life. Although we can control our emotions, thoughts, and actions, events and occurrences may be outside of our control. Humans are typically emotional beings. At its heart is this idea of Stoicism. As Marcus Aurelius put it, real power comes from being able to control your own thoughts and actions. We can get to this level of inner strength by working on our self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius said in his famous book Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This quote sums up the Stoic idea that we should focus our energy on controlling our thoughts and emotions rather than letting outside events dictate how we feel inside. During their reigns, great leaders often faced the hardest problems. Marcus Aurelius, as ruler of Rome, was no different. During his time in office, he faced many difficult problems and failures that tested his strength and determination. As Emperor of Rome, Aurelius had to deal with many difficult situations that required all of his attention and smart thinking. The Roman Empire was in danger of losing its security and wealth because of things like civil unrest, war battles, and unstable economies. Despite these problems, he faced them with unshakable resolve and a dedication to the well-being of his people. During his rule, Aurelius showed an unmatched ability to bounce back from losses. He knew that being a leader meant sticking with things even when they got tough. He never gave up on finding answers that would protect the empire's well-being, even when it meant losing battles or dealing with problems within the empire. His leading style was marked by his ability to keep going even when things went wrong. In addition, his spiritual beliefs, especially his practice of Stoicism, helped him a great deal when things were hard. Stoicism taught him to see problems as chances to grow and to keep his sense of right and wrong even when things went wrong. It stressed getting stronger on the inside and being okay with things that are out of your control. By using Stoic principles in his leadership style, Aurelius was able to deal with failures in a historical way, which made him strong and motivated the people around him. Despite the huge problems he had to deal with, he stayed committed to the well-being of his people. His dedication to good government and the search for justice was a driving force during his rule. Taking action to handle the worries of his people, he made changes to improve living conditions and promote the empire's overall well-being. Marcus's personal life was a great example of how well he could keep himself disciplined. Marcus was found to be humble and aware of how temporary power and material things are, even when he was emperor. Meditations and thoughts that led to constant self-improvement while seeking knowledge were important parts of Marcus's personal life. He was also a man of great character, which helped him make choices and act in certain ways. Aurelius rose to power as a leader of great strength and intelligence, leaving a record of bravery and kindness that will last for generations. As Marcus Aurelius showed, the world is still learning about Stoic principles. To develop self-discipline in our lives right now, we can use some of these same principles. Being consistent and judging yourself are two very useful ways to practice self-discipline. We can make it a habit to think about our values and life purpose every morning, just like Marcus Aurelius did. This will help us see how our actions and words match up with those things. The physical discipline of daily exercise not only improves our physical health, but also makes our minds stronger. Marcus understood the deep link between the mind and body and stressed how important it was to take care of both. Being mindful is another powerful way to develop self-discipline. We can better control our feelings and make smart decisions if we train ourselves to be fully present in every moment. One of the ideas behind Stoicism is to be thankful and try to be calm. Marcus Aurelius thought that noticing the wonderful and beautiful things in life, even when things are hard, can make you stronger and more resilient. We can become more firm in character by practicing thanks every day and keeping things in perspective. Last but not least, Stoic philosophy places a high value on society and relationship. Marcus felt that working together and helping other people become more self-disciplined could be very helpful. The Marcus Aurelius principles would need to be applied in order to take a critical look at Stoic philosophy as it relates to developing self-discipline in the modern world. Marcus Aurelius wrote a lot about how important it is to have control over your mind, which is the first thing to think about. During the meditation, he talked about how the quality of our lives is linked to the way we think and how important it is to exercise control over our thoughts. Marcus Aurelius thought that the only way to really be powerful was to be able to control our own minds and choose what we think. Marcus Aurelius said that our perceptions, emotions, and behaviors are shaped by the ideas we have. He understood that pain and the ability to live fulfilling lives can be caused by negative or useless thoughts. Because of this, he pushed for the practice of mindfulness and self-awareness, telling people to become aware of their thought processes and actively fight against false beliefs. To control our thinking, we need to be disciplined and alert all the time. It means asking the truth of our thoughts, changing the way we think about bad stories, and picking more positive points of view. To live a more fulfilling life, we can match our ideas with Stoic principles and have an inner conversation that is based on reason and ethics. Writing in a diary was a useful skill that Marcus Aurelius used. He looked at his thoughts and emotions every day, reflecting and introspecting to try to figure out where they came from and what impact they had. This practice helped him notice trends in the way he thought and change his ideas in a way that led to better ones. Marcus Aurelius thought that we could become stronger in the face of hardship by controlling our thinking. He understood that we can't control what happens in the outside world, but we can choose how to react to it. Whatever is going on, we can find inner peace and strength by actively focusing our thoughts on things like thanks, acceptance, and virtue. Practicing controlling our thinking is still useful and important in the current world. Being aware of our thought habits, getting rid of negative thoughts, and building positive perceptions are all skills we need to improve our health, endurance, and ability to handle life's obstacles with ease. Second, Stoic philosophy stresses the significance of taking what is outside of our control and refocusing on what we can change, our actions and attitudes. Stoics think that worrying about things we can't change causes us needless stress and anger. They instead say we should focus our energy on things we can change, like our own decisions, actions, and attitudes. We can be more flexible and keep our peace of mind if we accept that change and uncertainty are going to happen. When we look at the Stoic principle with a critical eye, it shows that our biggest power is the people we can affect. Focusing on what we can change and taking acts that are in line with our values are things we need to work on growing. Third, Marcus thought it was important to make plans and objectives that were in line with our values. To become self-disciplined, you need to have a clear calling, goal, and life purpose. We make good decisions and take good action when we know our values and make sure they are in line with our goals. Setting goals based on our values helps us figure out what's most important to us and gives us direction as we face the challenges of life. In line with our true selves, it helps us make choices and decisions that give us a sense of dignity and satisfaction in our purpose. We can focus our efforts and actions on self-discipline and personal growth by making our purpose clear and setting meaningful goals. Thanks a lot. Marcus Aurelius said that learning self-control is one of the most important parts of becoming self-disciplined. In order to develop inner strength and achieve personal growth, he thought, we must exercise control over our desires, urges, and emotions. Self-control helps us learn to wait for what we want, say no to temptations, and make decisions that are in line with our values and long-term goals. Self-control, according to Marcus Aurelius, is not about denying ourselves joy. Instead, it's about making choices that will bring you more happiness and help you grow as a person over time. By controlling ourselves, we boost our willpower and become more dedicated to our self-discipline road. Marcus pointed out that building up resiliency is an important part of Stoic philosophy. Stoicism teaches us to not be afraid of the problems and failures that come up in life, seeing them as chances to learn and grow. In this case, resilience means being able to deal with problems and difficulties while still feeling strong and stable inside. Marcus says that an attitude that accepts that life changes and is unpredictable helps people be resilient. Stoics know that we can't change the things that happen to us outside of our control, but we can change how we react inside of ourselves. When we accept that things will change and that the world is unsure, we build up inner strength that lets us handle the storm with strength and calm. In Stoicism, being resilient also means seeing losses and mistakes as opportunities to grow as a person. Stoics see challenges as chances to put traits like courage, determination, and patience into practice rather than as barriers to overcome. We build the strength to handle life's ups and downs by accepting difficulties as part of our journey. When we focus on the things we can control, we can focus our attention on them and feel better about ourselves. We become more resilient when we don't let outside events control how we feel. We can keep our inner peace and calm even when bad things happen because we are resilient. In Stoic philosophy, building resilience entails accepting life's flaws, seeing setbacks as chances to grow, and concentrating on what we can control. Before we end this video, let's look at 3 important lessons from Marcus Aurelius's most important work, Meditations, that can help us become more self-disciplined and understand how important it is to live a good and fulfilling life. The power of the present moment is the first lesson. Marcus Aurelius said in Meditations, "Do not bother yourself by picturing your life as a whole. Do not load into your mind the many and varied troubles that have come to you in the past and will come again in the future. But ask yourself, with each present difficulty, what is there in this that is unbearable and beyond endurance?" This quote sums up what it means to be in the present moment. Often, we can't be self-disciplined because our thoughts are filled with regrets from the past or worries about the future. Aurelius shows us how important it is to focus on the present moment. By doing so, we can break down seemingly overwhelming tasks into doable pieces and practice control and discipline in our instant actions. This focus on the present moment is a cornerstone of self-discipline, allowing us to take meaningful and virtuous actions without being overwhelmed. Lesson 2. Separation from outward approval. Marcus Aurelius was very aware of how short-lived fame and other people's opinions were. He wrote, "I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinions of himself than on the opinions of others." This observation highlights the human tendency to seek validation and approval from the outside world, often at the expense of our own values and integrity. Self-discipline, as Aurelius suggests, needs a separation from this outward reinforcement. Instead, we must focus on cultivating inner virtues and following our moral compass. This inner-directed focus enables us to make decisions and take actions that are in alignment with our values, rather than being swayed by the ever-changing opinions of others. It helps us to build a strong foundation of self-discipline, which is grounded in self-respect and personal integrity. Lesson 3. Adaptability and acceptance. One of the most celebrated quotes from Meditations is, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This quote is the epitome of adaptability and acceptance, 2 traits closely associated with self-discipline. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that obstacles and challenges are not just to be endured, but can be transformed into opportunities for growth and learning. Self-discipline involves the ability to adapt our actions and attitudes in response to the challenges we face. Instead of resisting or lamenting the difficulties, we can embrace them as opportunities to exercise virtue, to learn, and to grow. This mindset not only helps in building self-discipline, but also in fostering resilience and a deep sense of contentment. Marcus Aurelius's Meditations offer a treasure trove of wisdom for building self-discipline. Through focusing on the present moment, detaching from external validation and embracing adaptability and acceptance, we can cultivate a form of self-discipline that is deeply grounded in wisdom and virtue. This self-discipline is not just about control, but about living a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment, regardless of the external circumstances. By embracing the core principles of Stoicism, self-mastery, acceptance, and resilience, we have the potential to cultivate self-discipline in our modern lives. Self-mastery, as Marcus Aurelius believed, starts with gaining control over our thoughts and emotions. By actively observing and guiding our inner world, we can shape our responses to external events and maintain a sense of composure and clarity. Acceptance is another crucial element of building self-discipline. Developing resilience, as espoused by Aurelius, is cultivated by reframing setbacks as opportunities for growth. By viewing obstacles as stepping stones on our journey, we can develop the strength and perseverance necessary to face adversity with unwavering determination. Resilience also involves maintaining a sense of inner peace and stability, even when circumstances are chaotic or unfavorable. To build self-discipline, we can incorporate practical strategies inspired by Aurelius into our lives. By establishing consistent routines, engaging in physical discipline, practicing mindfulness, expressing gratitude, and fostering communal support, all contribute to our growth and development. Ultimately, living a more disciplined and fulfilling life can be achieved by following the Marcus Aurelius principles. We can develop the strength and fortitude to navigate through life's challenges with self-control. As we stand at the crossroads of history and philosophy, the figure of Marcus Aurelius towers above, casting a long shadow that has weathered the sands of time. In a world that is often chaotic and ever-changing, the importance of self-discipline becomes a beacon, a guiding light that can lead us through the storm. Through the lens of Aurelius and historic teachings, self-discipline is not a mere trait, but an art of living. Self-discipline is the compass by which we navigate the seas of life. It is the anchor that holds us steady amid tempests and the sails that propel us forward. Through self-discipline, we attain mastery over ourselves, which in turn begets a deeper understanding and engagement with the world around us. Thanks a lot. The life and philosophy of Marcus Aurelius serve as a testament to the transformative power of self-discipline. In this constantly interconnected world, where distractions are incessant and information is ceaseless, we need self-discipline now more than ever. It is through self-discipline that we can filter out the noise and focus on what truly matters. It is through self-discipline that we can be true to our values and principles and act not on impulse, but with deliberation and wisdom. What is particularly astonishing is how Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who lived nearly 2 millennia ago, could grapple with many of the same challenges and inner conflicts that we face today. This illuminates a profound truth. The human experience at its core is unchanging. Our fears, aspirations, dilemmas, and yearnings weave a common thread through the tapestry of time, and it is in this tapestry that the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius finds its enduring resonance. We live in an age of unprecedented opportunities and possibilities. Yet, with these opportunities come challenges and responsibilities. The Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius equips us with the mental fortitude to embrace these challenges, to wield them not as burdens, but as catalysts for growth and self-realization. As we conclude this video, let us reflect on the magnitude of our potential. Each one of us, in our own unique way, can be a philosopher, a seeker of truth, and a bearer of wisdom. Let the words of Marcus Aurelius be a reminder of the indomitable spirit that resides within each of us. Let his stoic resolve inspire us to build our reservoir of self-discipline. As we forge ahead on our respective journeys, let us carry with us the knowledge that self-discipline is not an end, but a means a means to lead lives of purpose, integrity, and fulfillment. Let us remember that in the grand theatre of existence, we are both the playwright and the protagonist. Through self-discipline, we can pen epics of triumph, odes to joy, and ballads of resilience within the vast chronicles of history. Let the chapters we author be woven with threads of wisdom. Let each page be steeped in purpose, and let the ink that flows from our quills be that of self-discipline. With Marcus Aurelius as our steadfast sentinel, guiding us from the revered corridors of antiquity, let us march ahead with our gazes fixed firmly on the horizon and our hearts ablaze with the boundless figure of possibility. Thanks a lot. It is not events that disturb people, it is their judgments concerning them. Epictetus. Imagine a world where external events no longer dictate your happiness, where you have complete control over your emotions, and where you can find peace in the midst of chaos. Welcome to the world of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that has guided countless individuals towards personal growth and fulfillment for centuries. At the heart of this philosophy lies the wisdom of Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher who transformed his life through the power of Stoic thought. Today, we'll dive into the teachings of this extraordinary man and uncover the top 10 lessons from his renowned work, the Enchiridion. Epictetus was born in Phrygia, present-day Turkey, around 50 AD. Despite being born into slavery, he rose above his circumstances and became one of the most influential Stoic philosophers of all time. As a slave, he was owned by a high-ranking Roman official who recognized his intellectual potential and allowed him to study philosophy. Epictetus eventually became a student of the philosopher Musonius Rufus, who was a prominent Stoic teacher in Rome. After gaining his freedom, he began teaching philosophy in Rome, where his reputation quickly grew. However, when the Roman Emperor Domitian expelled all philosophers from Rome in 89 AD, Epictetus was forced to flee. He found refuge in Nicopolis, Greece, where he established a philosophical school that attracted students from across the Roman Empire. His teachings were recorded by one of his students, Arrian, who compiled them into two main works, the Discourses and the Enchiridion. The Enchiridion, also known as the Handbook or Manual, is a concise collection of Epictetus's most essential teachings. It is a practical guide to living a virtuous life, providing valuable insights on how to navigate the challenges and uncertainties of our existence. The Stoic philosophy centers on the idea that we cannot control external events, but we can control our reactions to them. By cultivating inner strength, wisdom, and resilience, we can remain calm and composed in the face of adversity. This is achieved by focusing on our actions and thoughts, rather than being swayed by external circumstances or the opinions of others. In this video, we'll delve into the top 10 lessons from the Enchiridion, exploring the wisdom and practical advice that has stood the test of time. By understanding and applying these teachings, you too can experience the transformative power of Stoicism and unlock your potential for personal growth and self-improvement. As we embark on this journey through the Enchiridion, remember that the words of Epictetus are not just abstract ideas or theories. They are practical tools that can be applied to your everyday life. By embracing these lessons and incorporating them into your daily routine, you can build a strong foundation for personal development and create a more fulfilling, purposeful existence. Lesson 1. Differentiating between what is in our control and what is not. One of the core principles of Stoic philosophy, as espoused by Epictetus in the Enchiridion, is the understanding that we should focus our energy on what is within our control and accept what is not. This simple yet powerful concept can have a profound impact on our well-being and overall satisfaction with life. Epictetus believed that our thoughts, beliefs, and actions are within our control, while external events, the actions of others, and the natural world are not. By recognizing this distinction, we can save ourselves from unnecessary stress, anxiety, and disappointment. Let's explore an example to illustrate this lesson. Imagine you're preparing for an important job interview. You've spent weeks researching the company, practicing your responses, and honing your skills. On the day of the interview, however, a major traffic jam causes you to arrive late, and you miss the opportunity. While it's natural to feel frustrated and upset in this situation, Epictetus would advise us to focus on what we can control. We cannot change the traffic or the fact that we missed the interview, but we can control our reaction to the situation. Instead of dwelling on the missed opportunity, we can choose to learn from the experience, adapt our approach, and continue our job search with renewed determination. By applying this lesson, we can develop a greater sense of inner peace and resilience in the face of life's challenges. When we accept the inherent unpredictability of the world and focus on the aspects of our lives that we can influence, we empower ourselves to cultivate a mindset of growth and adaptability. This way, we can navigate through the ups and downs of life with grace and composure, making the most of every situation and maintaining our equilibrium in the face of adversity. Lesson 2. Embracing the concept of faith and accepting events in life. Another crucial lesson from the Enchiridion is the idea of accepting fate and learning to embrace the natural course of events in life. According to Stoic philosophy, the universe follows a rational order, and everything that happens is a part of this cosmic plan. By accepting the notion of faith, we can cultivate an attitude of serenity and learn to appreciate life's experiences, both positive and negative. Embracing faith doesn't mean passively resigning ourselves to whatever happens. Rather, it encourages us to focus on what we can control and develop the wisdom to accept and adapt to the circumstances we cannot change. By doing so, we can find peace and purpose in even the most challenging situations. Consider this example. You've been planning a vacation for months, and you're looking forward to a well-deserved break. Just days before your departure, however, you become ill and are unable to travel. While it's natural to feel disappointed and frustrated, Epictetus would remind us that our health is ultimately outside of our control. By embracing the concept of fate and accepting the situation, we can prevent ourselves from becoming overwhelmed by negative emotions. In practical terms, this might mean focusing on our recovery, using the unexpected free time to catch up on personal projects, or spending quality time with loved ones. By reframing our perspective and finding the silver lining in the situation, we can turn a seemingly negative event into an opportunity for growth and learning. Learning to accept faith and embrace the natural order of the universe allows us to develop a sense of equanimity in the face of life's uncertainties. When we approach life with an open heart and a willingness to adapt, we can find meaning and joy in every experience, regardless of the outcome. This mindset of acceptance and adaptability can ultimately lead to a more fulfilling and contented life. Lesson 3. Pursuing a virtuous life. A central tenet of Stoic philosophy, as presented by Epictetus in the Enchiridion, is the pursuit of virtue as the ultimate goal in life. Virtue in this context refers to moral excellence and the development of one's character. According to Epictetus, a virtuous life is intrinsically valuable and leads to true happiness and fulfillment. The Stoics believe that there are 4 main virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. By cultivating these virtues in our daily lives, we can become better individuals and contribute positively to our communities. Let's consider an example to illustrate how we might apply this lesson. Suppose you find a wallet on the street containing a significant amount of cash and the owner's identification. While it might be tempting to keep the money, pursuing a virtuous life would involve making the effort to return the wallet to its rightful owner. In doing so, you practice the virtues of justice by treating others fairly, and wisdom by understanding the importance of honesty and integrity. By consistently choosing virtuous actions even in challenging situations, we develop our character and strengthen our moral compass. Over time, these decisions can lead to a sense of deep satisfaction and self-respect, as well as the admiration of others. By prioritizing virtue above material possessions or external validation, we can create a solid foundation for lasting happiness and personal growth. Pursuing a virtuous life is a key lesson from the Enchiridion and an essential aspect of Stoic philosophy. By striving to cultivate moral excellence and uphold the values of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, we can enrich our lives and contribute positively to the world around us. By embracing these principles, we can begin to experience the true happiness and fulfillment that Epictetus believed was attainable through a life of virtue. Lesson 4. Detachment from material possessions and external circumstances. In the Enchiridion, Epictetus emphasizes the importance of developing a sense of detachment from material possessions and external circumstances. According to Stoic philosophy, our happiness and well-being should not be dependent on external factors, as they are inherently impermanent and outside our control. Instead, we should cultivate inner strength and self-sufficiency, finding contentment in our own actions and thoughts. By practicing detachment, we can free ourselves from the desire for external validation and the fear of loss, which can cause unnecessary suffering and anxiety. This does not mean that we should abandon our possessions or relationships. Rather, we should maintain a healthy perspective and recognize that they are not the source of our happiness. To illustrate this concept, let's consider an example. Imagine you've worked hard to build a successful career and have amassed a substantial amount of wealth. While you might feel a sense of pride and satisfaction in your accomplishments, Epictetus would caution against becoming too attached to these external markers of success. Instead, he would encourage you to focus on your inner values and virtues, which are the true sources of lasting happiness. To apply this lesson in your daily life, you could practice gratitude for what you have while remaining mindful of the impermanence of material possessions. You might also choose to engage in acts of generosity, such as donating to charity or volunteering your time, to help you maintain a balanced perspective on the importance of wealth. Detaching from material possessions and external circumstances is a crucial lesson from the Enchiridion and an essential aspect of Stoic philosophy. By cultivating this mindset, we can develop a greater sense of inner peace and resilience, ultimately leading to a more fulfilling and purposeful life. Lesson 5. Practicing self-discipline and self-control. The fifth lesson from the Enchiridion revolves around the importance of self-discipline and self-control, critical components of a virtuous life according to Stoic philosophy. Epictetus believed that mastery over one's impulses and desires was crucial for maintaining mental tranquility and achieving personal growth. Self-discipline and self-control involve the ability to resist short-term gratification in favor of long-term benefits, as well as the ability to control our reactions to external circumstances. This practice can be seen as a form of personal freedom, as it liberates us from being slaves to our impulses and allows us to live in accordance with our core values and principles. Consider the example of maintaining a healthy lifestyle. It's often tempting to indulge in unhealthy foods or skip exercise in favor of more sedentary activities. However, by exercising self-discipline, you can resist these short-term temptations and prioritize your long-term health and well-being. This could involve creating a regular exercise routine, preparing healthy meals, and ensuring you get enough sleep. Applying this lesson requires consistent effort and practice, but the rewards are significant. By developing self-discipline and self-control, you can make better decisions, achieve your goals more effectively, and live a more balanced and fulfilling life. By mastering our desires and reactions, we can experience the personal freedom and lasting satisfaction that comes from living in harmony with our values and principles. Lesson 6. Overcoming fear and anxiety by focusing on rational thinking. The sixth lesson from the Enchiridion emphasizes the importance of rational thinking in overcoming fear and anxiety. Epictetus believed that many of our negative emotions arise from irrational beliefs and assumptions. By examining these thoughts and replacing them with rational perspectives, we can alleviate unnecessary suffering and develop a more balanced mindset. One of the primary techniques for achieving this is to question our thoughts and assumptions, especially when they cause us distress. By identifying the irrational beliefs that underlie our fears and anxieties, we can challenge them and replace them with more realistic perspectives. For instance, imagine you're preparing for a public speaking engagement and you're feeling extremely anxious. Your fear might be based on the irrational belief that if you make a mistake or stumble over your words, you'll be ridiculed and judged by your audience. To apply rational thinking, you could remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, and it's unlikely that your audience will be overly critical. Moreover, you can recognize that your value as a person isn't determined by a single performance. By replacing your irrational beliefs with more balanced thoughts, you can reduce your anxiety and approach the situation with greater confidence. Another strategy is to focus on the present moment and avoid dwelling on negative hypothetical scenarios. Often, our fears and anxieties stem from our tendency to imagine worst-case outcomes. By grounding ourselves in the present and concentrating on the task at hand, we can minimize the impact of these unproductive thoughts and maintain a more balanced state of mind. The sixth lesson from the Enchiridion teaches us the power of rational thinking in overcoming fear and anxiety. By challenging our irrational beliefs and focusing on the present moment, we can develop a more stable mindset and navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and confidence. Lesson 7. Treating others with kindness and empathy. The seventh lesson from the Enchiridion highlights the importance of treating others with kindness and empathy. Epictetus believed that recognizing our shared humanity and extending compassion towards others is vital for living a virtuous life. According to Stoic philosophy, we are all interconnected and should strive to support one another in our journey toward wisdom and personal growth. One way to apply this lesson is by practicing active listening and being genuinely interested in the thoughts and feelings of others. This approach can help us better understand their perspectives and experiences, fostering empathy and creating stronger connections. For example, imagine a friend is going through a difficult time and shares their struggles with you. Instead of offering unsolicited advice or trying to fix their problems, you can practice empathy by validating their feelings and acknowledging the challenges they're facing. By showing that you genuinely care and understand their situation, you can provide them with the support and encouragement they need to navigate their difficulties. Another aspect of treating others with kindness and empathy involves being aware of how our actions and words may impact those around us. We can strive to act in a way that is considerate, respectful, and supportive, even when we may not agree with or understand someone else's perspective. This practice can help to create a more harmonious and compassionate environment for everyone. The seventh lesson from the Enchiridion underscores the significance of kindness and empathy in our interactions with others. By actively listening, validating others' experiences, and being considerate of their feelings, we can foster deeper connections and contribute to a more compassionate world. In doing so, we embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, and temperance, furthering our own personal growth and well-being. Lesson 8. Learning from criticism and not being affected by others' opinions. The 8th lesson from the Enchiridion addresses the importance of learning from criticism while maintaining a healthy detachment from others' opinions. Epictetus believed that it's essential to evaluate feedback objectively, discerning valuable insights from unconstructive remarks. By doing so, we can grow and improve without becoming emotionally entangled in the judgments of others. To apply this lesson, start by cultivating a mindset of curiosity and openness when receiving feedback. Recognize that criticism can offer valuable opportunities for growth and self-improvement. When you encounter criticism, consider the source and context and reflect on whether there's a valid point or lesson to be gleaned from the feedback. For instance, if a colleague offers constructive criticism on a project you've been working on, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to objectively evaluate their suggestions, if their feedback is valid and can help you improve your work. However, by exercising self-discipline, you can resist these short-term temptations and prioritize your long-term health and well-being. This could involve creating a regular exercise routine, preparing healthy meals, and ensuring you get enough sleep. Applying this lesson requires consistent effort and practice, but the rewards are significant. By mastering our desires and reactions, we can experience the personal freedom and lasting satisfaction that comes from living in harmony with our values and principles. Lesson 6. Overcoming fear and anxiety by focusing on rational thinking. The 6th lesson from the Enchiridion emphasizes the importance of rational thinking in overcoming fear and anxiety. Epictetus believed that many of our negative emotions arise from irrational beliefs and assumptions. By examining these thoughts and replacing them with rational perspectives, we can alleviate unnecessary suffering and develop a more balanced mindset. One of the primary techniques for achieving this is to question our thoughts and assumptions, especially when they cause us distress. By identifying the irrational beliefs that underlie our fears and anxieties, we can challenge them and replace them with more realistic perspectives. For instance, imagine you're preparing for a public speaking engagement and you're feeling extremely anxious. Your fear might be based on the irrational belief that if you make a mistake or stumble over your words, you'll be ridiculed and judged by your audience. To apply rational thinking, you could remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, and it's unlikely that your audience will be overly critical. Moreover, you can recognize that your value as a person isn't determined by a single performance. By replacing your irrational beliefs with more balanced thoughts, you can reduce your anxiety and approach the situation with greater confidence. Another strategy is to focus on the present moment and avoid dwelling on negative hypothetical scenarios. Often, our fears and anxieties stem from our tendency to imagine worst-case outcomes. By grounding ourselves in the present and concentrating on the task at hand, we can minimize the impact of these unproductive thoughts and maintain a more balanced state of mind. The 6th lesson from the Enchiridion teaches us the power of rational thinking in overcoming fear and anxiety. By challenging our irrational beliefs and focusing on the present moment, we can develop a more stable mindset and navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and confidence. Lesson 7. Treating others with kindness and empathy. The 7th lesson from the Enchiridion highlights the importance of treating others with kindness and empathy. Epictetus believed that recognizing our shared humanity and extending compassion towards others is vital for living a virtuous life. According to Stoic philosophy, we are all interconnected and should strive to support one another in our journey toward wisdom and personal growth. One way to apply this lesson is by practicing active listening and being genuinely interested in the thoughts and feelings of others. This approach can help us better understand their perspectives and experiences, fostering empathy and creating stronger connections. For example, imagine a friend is going through a difficult time and shares their struggles with you. Instead of offering unsolicited advice or trying to fix their problems, you can practice empathy by validating their feelings and acknowledging the challenges they're facing. By showing that you genuinely care and understand their situation, you can provide them with the support and encouragement they need to navigate their difficulties. Another aspect of treating others with kindness and empathy involves being aware of how our actions and words may impact those around us. We can strive to act in a way that is considerate, respectful, and supportive, even when we may not agree with or understand someone else's perspective. This practice can help to create a more harmonious and compassionate environment for everyone. The seventh lesson from the Enchiridion underscores the significance of kindness and empathy in our interactions with others. By actively listening, validating others' experiences, and being considerate of their feelings, we can foster deeper connections and contribute to a more compassionate world. In doing so, we embody the Stoic virtues of wisdom, justice, and temperance, furthering our own personal growth and well-being. Lesson 8. Learning from criticism and not being affected by others' opinions. The eighth lesson from the Enchiridion addresses the importance of learning from criticism while maintaining a healthy detachment from others' opinions. Epictetus believed that it's essential to evaluate feedback objectively, discerning valuable insights from unconstructive remarks. By doing so, we can grow and improve without becoming emotionally entangled in the judgments of others. To apply this lesson, start by cultivating a mindset of curiosity and openness when receiving feedback. Recognize that criticism can offer valuable opportunities for growth and self-improvement. When you encounter criticism, consider the source and context and reflect on whether there's a valid point or lesson to be gleaned from the feedback. For instance, if a colleague offers constructive criticism on a project you've been working on, instead of reacting defensively, take a moment to objectively evaluate their suggestions. If their feedback is valid and can help you improve your work, express gratitude for their input and implement the necessary changes. If, however, the criticism appears unfounded or unhelpful, acknowledge their perspective and then let it go without allowing it to negatively impact your self-esteem. It's also essential to remember that others' opinions don't define your worth or abilities. By developing a strong sense of self-awareness and confidence in your own values and strengths, you can maintain emotional equilibrium and avoid being swayed by the judgments of others. The eighth lesson from the Enchiridion teaches us the value of learning from criticism while remaining unaffected by others' opinions. By adopting an open and objective mindset when receiving feedback, we can use it as a tool for growth and self-improvement while maintaining a healthy sense of self-worth and emotional resilience. Lesson 9. Developing resilience in the face of adversity. The ninth lesson from the Enchiridion highlights the importance of developing resilience in the face of adversity. Epictetus believed that life is inherently filled with challenges and setbacks, and our ability to adapt and persevere through these difficult moments is crucial for personal growth and well-being. One way to cultivate resilience is by embracing a growth mindset, which entails viewing setbacks as opportunities for learning and self-improvement. By reframing challenges as chances to develop new skills and perspectives, we can maintain a positive attitude even when facing adversity. Suppose you've lost your job unexpectedly. Instead of succumbing to despair or feeling like a failure, you can apply the lesson of resilience by viewing the situation as an opportunity to explore new career paths, acquire new skills, or pursue passions that you may not have had time for previously. By maintaining a growth mindset, you can turn adversity into an opportunity for positive change. Another aspect of developing resilience is learning to manage our emotional reactions to difficult circumstances. Epictetus emphasized the importance of distinguishing between events themselves and our judgments about those events. By recognizing that our emotions are shaped by our thoughts and beliefs, we can gain better control over our reactions and maintain a sense of calm and stability even in challenging situations. The ninth lesson from the Enchiridion underscores the importance of developing resilience in the face of adversity. By embracing a growth mindset and managing our emotional reactions, we can persevere through life's challenges and continue to grow and thrive. This ability to adapt and bounce back from setbacks is a hallmark of Stoic philosophy and a key component of a fulfilling life. Lesson 10. Reflecting on one's own thoughts and actions for self-improvement. The 10th lesson from the Enchiridion emphasizes the importance of self-reflection as a means for personal growth and self-improvement. Epictetus believed that by regularly examining our thoughts, actions, and motivations, we can gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and make conscious efforts to align our behavior with our core values and principles. One effective method of self-reflection is to set aside time each day for introspection and contemplation. This practice can involve reviewing the events of the day, identifying areas where we may have fallen short of our values, and considering ways to improve in the future. By making self-reflection a consistent habit, we can become more mindful of our actions and strive for continuous self-improvement. For example, at the end of each day, you might take a few moments to reflect on your interactions with others, your responses to external events, and any internal struggles you may have experienced. As you review these experiences, consider whether your actions were in line with your values, such as honesty, compassion, or integrity. If you identify areas where you could have behaved differently, use this insight to guide your actions in the future. Another important aspect of self-reflection is recognizing and challenging any limiting beliefs or negative thought patterns that may be holding you back. By becoming aware of these mental obstacles and working to replace them with more empowering beliefs, you can foster personal growth and create lasting change. The 10th lesson from the Enchiridion highlights the power of self-reflection as a tool for personal growth and self-improvement. By consistently examining our thoughts and actions and striving to align them with our core values, we can foster a deeper understanding of ourselves and cultivate a more authentic and fulfilling life. This practice of introspection and self-awareness is an essential component of Stoic philosophy and a valuable lesson for us all. As we come to the conclusion of this enlightening journey through the top 10 lessons from Epictetus, we are reminded of the enduring wisdom and practical insights that the Enchiridion offers us. We began by understanding the significance of differentiating between what is in our control and what is not, learning to cultivate inner peace in a world often brimming with uncertainty. We then delved into the importance of embracing fate and accepting events in life with grace, fostering a sense of resilience and serenity in the face of adversity. We also discovered the profound truth that living a virtuous life characterized by kindness, wisdom, and self-discipline is within our reach. We learned to detach ourselves from material possessions and external circumstances, finding fulfillment and contentment within ourselves. The lessons of practicing self-discipline and self-control, as well as treating others with kindness and empathy, were illuminated, reminding us of the fundamental principles of Stoic philosophy. We understood how to overcome fear and anxiety through rational thinking, learning to challenge and transform our irrational beliefs into balanced perspectives. In a world that often values external validation, we were shown the necessity of learning from criticism without being affected by others' opinions, fostering a healthy sense of self-worth and emotional resilience. The ninth lesson underscored the value of developing resilience in the face of adversity, emphasizing the importance of a growth mindset and emotional regulation. And finally, we were encouraged to engage in continual self-reflection, striving to align our actions with our values and seeking constant self-improvement. As we move forward, I invite you to carry these lessons with you, applying them to your daily life. Remember that Stoicism is not just a philosophy to be contemplated, but a way of life to be lived. Embodying these teachings can profoundly impact your perspective, your relationships, and your overall quality of life. Epictetus, once a slave who rose to become one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, leaves us with a remarkable legacy. His teachings, encapsulated in the Enchiridion, still resonate with us today, providing us with practical wisdom to navigate the complexities of life in a world that is continuously changing. The philosophy of Epictetus remains a steadfast guide, offering timeless insights into achieving a life of tranquility, virtue, and fulfillment. As we conclude, let us remember Epictetus's words: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Let this be a compass that directs us toward a life of wisdom, resilience, and virtue. Let's embody these teachings, embrace the Stoic way of life, and step into a world of peace, understanding, and continual growth. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, is often referred to as the philosopher king, despite being one of the most powerful men in the world during his time. He faced numerous struggles and hardships, from political upheaval to personal loss. Amidst these challenges, he penned his deeply introspective and insightful book, Meditations, as a means of self-improvement and reflection. Comprised of his personal thoughts and observations, this iconic work has inspired countless individuals over the centuries, providing guidance on how to live a virtuous and fulfilling life in today's fast-paced and often uncertain world. Resilience and inner strength are qualities that have become more important than ever before. We're constantly bombarded by change, whether it's in our careers, relationships, or personal lives. But what if we could learn to navigate these changes with grace and wisdom, transforming adversity into an opportunity for growth and self-discovery? This is where Marcus Aurelius's Meditations comes into play. As a Stoic, Marcus Aurelius believed in the importance of cultivating inner virtues and practicing self-mastery. He believed that by focusing on the things we can control, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can overcome external circumstances and maintain a sense of balance and equanimity. In essence, Stoicism teaches us to be the architects of our own happiness and well-being, regardless of the challenges we face. What can we learn from this great philosopher? In this video, we're going to delve into the pages of Meditations and uncover 10 timeless life lessons that will help us develop resilience and inner strength. These lessons will not only provide practical advice for managing difficult situations, but also inspire us to cultivate a more resilient mindset in our daily lives. By applying the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, we can become better equipped to handle adversity, grow from our experiences, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling and contented life. As we journey through these 10 lessons, we'll explore the importance of controlling our thoughts and perceptions, accepting what we cannot change, focusing on the present moment, cultivating humility and empathy, and much more. Each of these lessons is grounded in the Stoic principles that Marcus Aurelius espoused and practiced throughout his life, offering a roadmap for navigating life's challenges with resilience, wisdom, and inner strength. Whether you're facing personal struggles, professional setbacks, or simply looking for guidance on how to lead a more balanced and fulfilling life, the teachings of Marcus Aurelius can serve as a powerful source of inspiration and wisdom. Lesson 1. Control your perception. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Our perception of the world around us shapes our reality. It influences how we react to situations, how we interact with others, and ultimately, how we feel about ourselves. Marcus Aurelius's quote serves as a powerful reminder that we need to be mindful of our thoughts and perceptions. By recognizing that our interpretations of events are not absolute truths, but rather subjective perspectives, we can start to take control of our emotional responses and thought patterns, leading to greater resilience and inner strength. Controlling our thoughts and perceptions begins with self-awareness. It's essential to monitor our thoughts and identify when we may be engaging in negative or unhelpful thinking patterns. Once we become aware of these patterns, we can actively work to replace them with more constructive, rational perspectives. One practical tip for practicing this skill is to engage in daily mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment without judgment, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise without becoming overly attached or reactive. By practicing mindfulness, we can develop greater self-awareness and learn to recognize when we need to shift our perceptions. Another technique to help control your perception is to challenge your thoughts through cognitive restructuring. This involves identifying any negative or irrational thoughts, then actively questioning and replacing them with more balanced and rational alternatives. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm a failure because I didn't get that promotion," try to reframe the thought as, "I may not have gotten the promotion this time, but it doesn't define my worth or abilities. I can learn from this experience and continue to grow professionally." Finally, surrounding yourself with positive influences can also help you control your perceptions. Seek out friends, mentors, or role models who embody the values and attitudes you want to cultivate within yourself. Engaging in uplifting conversations and activities can help reinforce a more optimistic and constructive mindset. In summary, controlling our perceptions is a crucial step in building resilience and inner strength. By practicing self-awareness, mindfulness, cognitive restructuring, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can train our minds to see the world through a more balanced and constructive lens. This shift in perspective can empower us to overcome adversity and face life's challenges with greater confidence and composure. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, our perceptions are not absolute truths, and we have the power to shape them to our advantage. Lesson 2. Accept what you cannot change. Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. One of the most powerful lessons Marcus Aurelius teaches us is the importance of acceptance and letting go of what we cannot control. This is a fundamental principle of Stoicism and a key aspect of building resilience and inner strength. When we learn to embrace the unpredictability of life and accept circumstances beyond our control, we can focus our energy on what truly matters: our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Acceptance allows us to make peace with the present moment and find contentment despite life's inevitable ups and downs. By letting go of our need for control, we free ourselves from the burden of worry, anxiety, and frustration, making it easier to navigate challenging situations with grace and wisdom. To adopt this mindset, start by recognizing the aspects of your life that are beyond your control. Make a list of situations, events, or circumstances that you have no power over and practice accepting them as they are. This exercise can help you become more aware of the difference between what you can and cannot control, allowing you to let go of any unproductive attempts to change what is out of your hands. Another helpful technique is to practice the art of non-attachment. Non-attachment involves acknowledging and appreciating the impermanent nature of life. By understanding that everything is transient and subject to change, we can develop a more balanced perspective and learn to accept the natural ebb and flow of life. When faced with a challenging situation, remind yourself that this too shall pass and try to approach it with an open heart and mind. Meditation can also be a valuable tool for promoting acceptance. By setting aside time each day to quiet your mind and observe your thoughts and emotions, you can develop a greater understanding of your reactions to life's challenges. This increased self-awareness can make it easier to recognize when you're struggling to accept what you cannot change and help you shift towards a more accepting mindset. Learning to accept what we cannot change is a critical aspect of building resilience and inner strength. By practicing awareness, non-attachment, and meditation, we can develop a more balanced and accepting perspective on life. Embracing this mindset not only enables you to face adversity with grace and wisdom, but also allows us to appreciate the beauty and richness of life, as Marcus Aurelius so eloquently expressed in his quote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Lesson 3. Focus on the present moment. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and not allowing ourselves to become consumed by the past or future. By concentrating our minds on the here and now, we can experience life more fully and develop a greater sense of inner peace and contentment. Focusing on the present moment has numerous benefits, including reduced stress and anxiety, increased self-awareness, and improved mental well-being. When we practice mindfulness and being present, we allow ourselves to truly engage with our experiences and emotions, instead of being constantly distracted by past regrets or future worries. This heightened sense of awareness enables us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our environment, fostering personal growth and self-discovery. One way to develop the habit of being present is by engaging in mindfulness meditation. This form of meditation involves observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing you to become fully immersed in the present moment. To practice mindfulness meditation, simply find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and bring your attention to your breath. As thoughts and emotions arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your focus back to your breath. This practice can be done for as little as 5 minutes a day and can have a profound impact on your overall well-being. Another technique to help you focus on the present moment is to incorporate mindful activities into your daily routine. This can include practices such as mindful eating, where you savor each bite and pay attention to the flavors and textures of your food, or mindful walking, where you observe your surroundings and the sensations of your body as you move. By integrating mindfulness into everyday activities, you can develop a greater appreciation for the present moment and become more in tune with your thoughts and emotions. Consider setting aside time each day for reflection and self-assessment. Journaling can be an effective way to process your experiences, emotions, and thoughts, helping you become more aware of the present moment. By reflecting on your day and identifying patterns in your thoughts and behaviors, you can gain valuable insights that can help you stay focused on the present and make more conscious choices moving forward. Lesson 4. Cultivate humility and empathy. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Humility and empathy are essential virtues for building resilience and inner strength. They help us develop stronger relationships, create a more compassionate mindset, and foster greater self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius's quote serves as a reminder that before we judge or criticize others, we must first reflect on our own imperfections and strive to understand the experiences and feelings of those around us. Practicing humility involves recognizing that we are not infallible and that we can learn from others, regardless of their status or background. By adopting a humble attitude, we become more open to feedback and personal growth, enabling us to overcome challenges and adapt to new situations more effectively. To practice humility in your daily life, make an effort to listen more and speak less. Pay attention to the ideas and opinions of others, and be open to the possibility that you may be wrong or have something to learn from them. Additionally, be willing to admit your mistakes and take responsibility for your actions. This willingness to be vulnerable can help you grow as a person and develop a more resilient mindset. Empathy, on the other hand, involves putting yourself in another person's shoes and trying to understand their feelings, thoughts, and experiences. This ability to connect with others on a deeper level can help you navigate difficult situations and foster stronger relationships, ultimately making you more resilient in the face of adversity. To develop empathy, practice active listening when conversing with others. Give them your full attention and strive to understand their perspective without judgment. Ask open-ended questions to encourage deeper sharing and show genuine interest in their feelings and experiences. Volunteering or engaging in acts of service can also help you build empathy. Helping others, especially those in need or facing challenges, can provide you with a greater understanding of their experiences and emotions, fostering a deeper sense of compassion and empathy. Humility and empathy are key components of building resilience and inner strength. By practicing active listening, engaging in self-reflection, and participating in activities that foster compassion, we can develop a more empathetic and humble outlook on life. Lesson 5. Practice gratitude. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the power and importance of gratitude in our lives. By focusing on the blessings we have and appreciating the beauty of life, we can foster a more positive mindset, enhance our well-being, and build resilience in the face of challenges. There are numerous benefits to embracing gratitude. Studies have shown that people who regularly express gratitude experience increased happiness, improved mental health, stronger relationships, and even better physical health. Grateful individuals tend to be more optimistic, have lower levels of stress and anxiety, and are better equipped to handle difficult situations. To integrate gratitude into your daily life, consider starting a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. This simple practice can help you shift your focus from the negative aspects of life to the positive, enabling you to recognize and appreciate the good things that are often overlooked. Another way to practice gratitude is to express your appreciation to others. Take the time to thank friends, family, and colleagues for their support, kindness, and understanding. By acknowledging the value of their contributions to your life, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also reinforce your own sense of gratitude. Additionally, Make a habit of reflecting on your achievements and accomplishments, as well as the challenges you've overcome. Recognizing your personal growth and the lessons you've learned can help you appreciate the journey you've taken, fostering a deeper sense of gratitude for the experiences that have shaped you. Mindfulness can also play a role in developing gratitude. By paying attention to the present moment, you can notice the small joys and pleasures that often go unnoticed, such as the warmth of the sun on your face or the laughter of a loved one. By savoring these moments, you can nurture a greater sense of gratitude for the simple gifts life has to offer. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to enhance your overall well-being, foster a positive mindset, and build resilience. By maintaining a gratitude journal, expressing appreciation to others, reflecting on personal growth, and practicing mindfulness, you can develop a deeper sense of gratitude for life's many blessings. Lesson 6. Embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. In this powerful lesson, Marcus Aurelius teaches us to view adversity not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. By shifting our perspective on challenges and setbacks, we can develop greater resilience and inner strength, allowing us to overcome even the most difficult situations. Challenges can be opportunities for personal growth in several ways. They can help us build new skills, gain valuable experience, and learn more about ourselves and our capabilities. Additionally, overcoming adversity can foster a greater sense of self-confidence as we recognize our ability to navigate difficult situations and emerge stronger on the other side. To reframe adversity as a chance to learn and grow, start by adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself what skills or knowledge you can acquire from the experience and how it can help you become a better, more capable person. Another technique to help you embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth is to practice reframing negative thoughts. When encountering a difficult situation, try to identify the negative thoughts that arise and consciously shift them into more positive, empowering statements. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'll never be able to handle this," reframe it as, "This is a challenging situation, but I can learn and grow from it." You can also seek inspiration from the stories of others who have overcome adversity and achieved personal growth. Research the lives of famous figures, read biographies, or listen to podcasts about individuals who have faced significant challenges and use them as stepping stones to success. These examples can serve as a powerful reminder of the potential for growth and transformation that lies within every obstacle. Lastly, consider seeking support from friends, family, or professional counselors when faced with adversity. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network can provide valuable encouragement, advice, and perspective, helping you to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth is a key component of building resilience and inner strength. By adopting a growth mindset, practicing reframing, seeking inspiration, and leaning on a support network, we can learn to view challenges as chances to learn, grow, and become better versions of ourselves. Lesson 7. Be guided by reason. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius highlights the crucial role that rational thinking and logic play in our overall happiness and ability to overcome adversity. By guiding our thoughts and actions with reason, we can make more informed decisions, manage our emotions more effectively, and navigate challenges with greater clarity and resilience. Rational thinking is important in overcoming adversity because it enables us to objectively assess a situation, identify potential solutions, and weigh the pros and cons of each option. By approaching challenges with a logical mindset, we can minimize the influence of impulsive emotions such as fear or anger, which can often cloud our judgment and lead to poor decision-making. One way to develop rational thinking is by practicing critical thinking skills. This involves questioning assumptions, evaluating evidence, and considering alternative viewpoints. When faced with a difficult situation, take a step back and ask yourself what assumptions you might be making, whether there is sufficient evidence to support your beliefs, and if there are any alternative explanations or solutions that you may have overlooked. Another strategy for cultivating rational thinking is to engage in regular self-reflection. By periodically examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, we can gain a deeper understanding of our motivations, biases, and thought patterns. This self-awareness can help us recognize when our thinking may be influenced by emotions or false assumptions, allowing us to redirect our thoughts toward a more logical and reasoned approach. It's also important to practice emotional regulation, as strong emotions can often interfere with rational thinking. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation and deep breathing exercises can help you manage your emotions more effectively, creating the mental space needed for clear, logical thinking. Finally, consider seeking out opportunities to learn and develop your problem-solving skills. Engage in activities that challenge your mind, such as solving puzzles, playing strategy games, or participating in debates. These experiences can help sharpen your logical thinking abilities and enhance your capacity to approach adversity with reason and clarity. Being guided by reason is a vital component of overcoming adversity and building resilience. By practicing critical thinking, engaging in self-reflection, managing emotions, and honing problem-solving skills, we can develop a more rational mindset that allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and success. Lesson 8. Cultivate inner peace. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the profound impact our thoughts have on our emotional state and inner peace. Cultivating inner peace is essential in building resilience and maintaining emotional balance, as it allows us to navigate challenges more effectively and maintain a sense of calm in the face of adversity. Inner peace is important for several reasons. First, it helps us manage stress and anxiety more effectively. When we are at peace with ourselves, we are better equipped to handle the pressures and uncertainties that life inevitably presents. This emotional balance can help prevent burnout, reduce the risk of mental health issues, and promote overall well-being. Second, inner peace allows us to think more clearly and make better decisions. When our minds are not clouded by emotional turbulence, we can approach challenges with a greater sense of clarity and focus, allowing us to develop more effective solutions and strategies. An effective way for cultivating inner peace is engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This might include spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or connecting with loved ones. Prioritizing self-care and nurturing activities can help replenish your emotional reserves and promote a sense of balance and tranquility. It's also essential to develop healthy coping mechanisms for managing stress and negative emotions. This might involve practicing deep breathing exercises or engaging in physical activity, such as yoga or walking. These techniques can help release tension and restore emotional equilibrium. Lastly, consider adopting a regular gratitude practice, as discussed earlier. By focusing on the positives in your life and expressing gratitude for the blessings you have, you can foster a more optimistic outlook and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Lesson 9. Practice detachment. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Marcus Aurelius. In this lesson, Marcus Aurelius encourages us to practice detachment from external events and circumstances. By focusing on our inner values and spiritual growth, rather than seeking validation or fulfillment from external sources, we can develop greater resilience and inner strength. The benefits of detachment are numerous. Detachment allows us to maintain a sense of equanimity and emotional stability, even in the face of adversity or challenging situations. It also helps us avoid becoming overly attached to outcomes, possessions, or the opinions of others, which can lead to stress, anxiety, and disappointment. To cultivate detachment in daily life, begin by becoming more mindful of your thoughts and reactions to external events. Pay attention to how you respond to situations and practice observing your emotions and thoughts without becoming overly attached or identified with them. This increased self-awareness can help you recognize when you may be overly invested in external circumstances and make a conscious effort to shift your focus inward. Another tip for practicing detachment is to regularly remind yourself of the impermanent nature of life. Recognize that possessions, relationships, and circumstances are all subject to change, and that seeking lasting happiness from these sources is ultimately futile. Instead, strive to find inner contentment and fulfillment by focusing on your personal growth, values, and spirituality. Developing a strong sense of self and knowing your core values can also help you cultivate detachment. When you have a clear understanding of what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to let go of external factors that may not align with your values. Spend time reflecting on your core beliefs and use them as a guiding force in your decision-making and actions. Lastly, engage in regular spiritual or reflective practices such as meditation, journaling, or prayer. These practices can help you deepen your connection to your inner self, promoting a sense of detachment from external influences and fostering a greater focus on personal growth and spiritual development. Practicing detachment from external events and circumstances can be a powerful tool for building resilience and inner strength. By focusing on inner values, cultivating self-awareness, and embracing the impermanence of external factors, we can navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity and clarity. By cultivating mindfulness, embracing impermanence, understanding your values, and engaging in spiritual practices, you can develop a sense of detachment that allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater grace and equanimity. Lesson 10. Keep moving forward. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. In this final lesson, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of perseverance and forward momentum in overcoming adversity. By focusing on the blessings we already have and maintaining a growth mindset, we can continue to progress and evolve even in the face of challenges. Perseverance is crucial in overcoming adversity because it enables us to push through obstacles, learn from setbacks, and keep moving toward our goals. By maintaining a forward momentum, we can build resilience and inner strength, as well as develop the skills and experience necessary to navigate future challenges. To maintain motivation and a growth mindset, start by setting clear, achievable goals that align with your values and passions. By having a clear vision of what you want to achieve, you can stay focused and motivated even when faced with obstacles or setbacks. Break your goals down into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate your progress along the way to maintain motivation. Another suggestion for maintaining motivation is to practice self-compassion. Recognize that setbacks and challenges are a natural part of life, and treat yourself with kindness and understanding when you encounter difficulties. By cultivating self-compassion, you can maintain a positive attitude and stay motivated to continue moving forward even when faced with adversity. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive and like-minded individuals can help you maintain motivation and a growth mindset. Seek out friends, mentors, or support groups that share your values and goals and draw inspiration and encouragement from their successes and experiences. Finally, take time to regularly reflect on your progress and accomplishments. Acknowledge the obstacles you've overcome, the skills you've acquired, and the growth you've experienced along the way. This reflection can help you maintain a sense of forward momentum and inspire you to continue pushing through challenges and pursuing your goals. Maintaining perseverance and forward momentum is essential in overcoming adversity and building resilience. By setting clear goals, practicing self-compassion, surrounding yourself with support, and reflecting on your progress, you can maintain motivation and continue moving forward, no matter the challenges life may present. We have explored 10 powerful life lessons from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations that can help us build resilience and inner strength. These lessons have offered us invaluable insights into controlling our perceptions, accepting what we cannot change, focusing on the present moment, developing humility and empathy, practicing gratitude, embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth, being guided by reason, cultivating inner peace, practicing detachment, and maintaining forward momentum. By integrating these timeless teachings into our daily lives, we can foster personal growth, overcome adversity, and live more fulfilling, purpose-driven lives. It is important to remember that building resilience and inner strength is a lifelong journey, and implementing these lessons takes time, practice, and dedication. As you continue to face challenges and setbacks, draw upon the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and strive to embody the principles he so eloquently shared in his Meditations. By doing so, you will not only become more resilient and resourceful in the face of adversity, but will also discover a greater sense of inner peace, purpose, and fulfillment. As we part ways, I encourage you to reflect on these 10 life lessons and consider how you can apply them in your own life. As you embark on this journey of personal growth and self-discovery, remember that the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius is a timeless guide that can help you navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and resilience. In the words of the great Stoic philosopher himself, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By incorporating these lessons into your daily life, you can positively shape the quality of your thoughts and cultivate the resilience and inner strength necessary to thrive in an ever-changing world. May you find strength, inspiration, and growth through the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, and may your journey toward resilience and inner strength be one of deep self-discovery, fulfillment, and lasting happiness. One practical tip for practicing this skill is to engage in daily mindfulness exercises. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment without judgment, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise without becoming overly attached or reactive. By practicing mindfulness, we can develop greater self-awareness and learn to recognize when we need to shift our perceptions. Another technique to help control your perception is to challenge your thoughts through cognitive restructuring. This involves identifying any negative or irrational thoughts, then actively questioning and replacing them with more balanced and rational alternatives. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm a failure because I didn't get that promotion," try to reframe the thought as, "I may not have gotten the promotion this time, but it doesn't define my worth or abilities." I can learn from this experience and continue to grow professionally. Finally, surrounding yourself with positive influences can also help you control your perceptions. Seek out friends, mentors, or role models who embody the values and attitudes you want to cultivate within yourself. Engaging in uplifting conversations and activities can help reinforce a more optimistic and constructive mindset. In summary, controlling our perceptions is a crucial step in building resilience and inner strength. By practicing self-awareness, mindfulness, cognitive restructuring, and surrounding ourselves with positive influences, we can train our minds to see the world through a more balanced and constructive lens. This shift in perspective can empower us to overcome adversity and face life's challenges with greater confidence and composure. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, our perceptions are not absolute truths, and we have the power to shape them to our advantage. Lesson 2. Accept what you cannot change. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. One of the most powerful lessons Marcus Aurelius teaches us is the importance of acceptance and letting go of what we cannot control. This is a fundamental principle of Stoicism and a key aspect of building resilience and inner strength. When we learn to embrace the unpredictability of life and accept circumstances beyond our control, we can focus our energy on what truly matters: our thoughts, emotions, and actions. Acceptance allows us to make peace with the present moment and find contentment despite life's inevitable ups and downs. By letting go of our need for control, we free ourselves from the burden of worry, anxiety, and frustration, making it easier to navigate challenging situations with grace and wisdom. To adopt this mindset, start by recognizing the aspects of your life that are beyond your control. Make a list of situations, events, or circumstances that you have no power over and practice accepting them as they are. This exercise can help you become more aware of the difference between what you can and cannot control, allowing you to let go of any unproductive attempts to change what is out of your hands. Another helpful technique is to practice the art of non-attachment. Non-attachment involves acknowledging and appreciating the impermanent nature of life. By understanding that everything is transient and subject to change, we can develop a more balanced perspective and learn to accept the natural ebb and flow of life. When faced with a challenging situation, remind yourself that this too shall pass, and try to approach it with an open heart and mind. Meditation can also be a valuable tool for promoting acceptance. By setting aside time each day to quiet your mind and observe your thoughts and emotions, you can develop a greater understanding of your reactions to life's challenges. This increased self-awareness can make it easier to recognize when you're struggling to accept what you cannot change and help you shift towards a more accepting mindset. Learning to accept what we cannot change is a critical aspect of building resilience and inner strength. By practicing awareness, non-attachment, and meditation, we can develop a more balanced and accepting perspective on life. Embracing this mindset not only enables you to face adversity with grace and wisdom, but also allows you to appreciate the beauty and richness of life, as Marcus Aurelius so eloquently expressed in his quote, "Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart." Lesson 3. Focus on the present moment. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment and not allowing ourselves to become consumed by the past or future. By concentrating our minds on the here and now, we can experience life more fully and develop a greater sense of inner peace and contentment. Focusing on the present moment has numerous benefits, including reduced stress and anxiety, increased self-awareness, and improved mental well-being. When we practice mindfulness and being present, we allow ourselves to truly engage with our experiences and emotions, instead of being constantly distracted by past regrets or future worries. This heightened sense of awareness enables us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves and our environment, fostering personal growth and self-discovery. One way to develop the habit of being present is by engaging in mindfulness meditation. This form of meditation involves observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing you to become fully immersed in the present moment. To practice mindfulness meditation, simply find a quiet space, sit comfortably, and bring your attention to your breath. As thoughts and emotions arise, acknowledge them without judgment and gently guide your focus back to your breath. This practice can be done for as little as 5 minutes a day and can have a profound impact on your overall well-being. Another technique to help you focus on the present moment is to incorporate mindful activities into your daily routine. This can include practices such as mindful eating, where you savor each bite and pay attention to the flavors and textures of your food, or mindful walking, where you observe your surroundings and the sensations of your body as you move. By integrating mindfulness into everyday activities, you can develop a greater appreciation for the present moment and become more in tune with your thoughts and emotions. Consider setting aside time each day for reflection and self-assessment. Journaling can be an effective way to process your experiences, emotions, and thoughts, helping you become more aware of the present moment. By reflecting on your day and identifying patterns in your thoughts and behaviors, you can gain valuable insights that can help you stay focused on the present and make more conscious choices moving forward. Lesson 4. Cultivate humility and empathy. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize? Humility and empathy are essential virtues for building resilience and inner strength. They help us develop stronger relationships, create a more compassionate mindset, and foster greater self-awareness. Marcus Aurelius's quote serves as a reminder that before we judge or criticize others, we must first reflect on our own imperfections and strive to understand the experiences and feelings of those around us. Practicing humility involves recognizing that we are not infallible and that we can learn from others, regardless of their status or background. By adopting a humble attitude, we become more open to feedback and personal growth, enabling us to overcome challenges and adapt to new situations more effectively. To practice humility in your daily life, make an effort to listen more and speak less. Pay attention to the ideas and opinions of others, and be open to the possibility that you may be wrong or have something to learn from them. Additionally, be willing to admit your mistakes and take responsibility for your actions. This willingness to be vulnerable can help you grow as a person and develop a more resilient mindset. Empathy, on the other hand, involves putting yourself in another person's shoes and trying to understand their feelings, thoughts, and experiences. This ability to connect with others on a deeper level can help you navigate difficult situations and foster stronger relationships, ultimately making you more resilient in the face of adversity. To develop empathy, practice active listening when conversing with others. Give them your full attention and strive to understand their perspective without judgment. Ask open-ended questions to encourage deeper sharing and show genuine interest in their feelings and experiences. Volunteering or engaging in acts of service can also help you build empathy. Helping others, especially those in need or facing challenges, can provide you with a greater understanding of their experiences and emotions, fostering a deeper sense of compassion and empathy. Humility and empathy are key components of building resilience and inner strength. By practicing active listening, engaging in self-reflection, and participating in activities that foster compassion, we can develop a more empathetic and humble outlook on life. Lesson 5. Practice gratitude. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius reminds us of the power and importance of gratitude in our lives. By focusing on the blessings we have and appreciating the beauty of life, we can foster a more positive mindset, enhance our well-being, and build resilience in the face of challenges. There are numerous benefits to embracing gratitude. Studies have shown that people who regularly express gratitude experience increased happiness, improved mental health, stronger relationships, and even better physical health. Grateful individuals tend to be more optimistic, have lower levels of stress and anxiety, and are better equipped to handle difficult situations. To integrate gratitude into your daily life, consider starting a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you are grateful for, no matter how big or small. This simple practice can help you shift your focus from the negative aspects of life to the positive, enabling you to recognize and appreciate the good things that are often overlooked. Another way to practice gratitude is to express your appreciation to others. Take the time to thank friends, family, and colleagues for their support, kindness, and understanding. By acknowledging the value of their contributions to your life, you not only strengthen your relationships, but also reinforce your own sense of gratitude. Additionally, make a habit of reflecting on your achievements and accomplishments, as well as the challenges you've overcome. Recognizing your personal growth and the lessons you've learned can help you appreciate the journey you've taken, fostering a deeper sense of gratitude for the experiences that have shaped you. Mindfulness can also play a role in developing gratitude. By paying attention to the present moment, you can notice the small joys and pleasures that often go unnoticed, such as the warmth of the sun on your face or the laughter of a loved one. By savoring these moments, you can nurture a greater sense of gratitude for the simple gifts life has to offer. Practicing gratitude is a powerful way to enhance your overall well-being, foster a positive mindset, and build resilience. By maintaining a gratitude journal, expressing appreciation to others, reflecting on personal growth, and practicing mindfulness, you can develop a deeper sense of gratitude for life's many blessings. Lesson 6. Embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Marcus Aurelius. In this powerful lesson, Marcus Aurelius teaches us to view adversity not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity for personal growth and self-improvement. By shifting our perspective on challenges and setbacks, we can develop greater resilience and inner strength, allowing us to overcome even the most difficult situations. Challenges can be opportunities for personal growth in several ways. They can help us build new skills, gain valuable experience, and learn more about ourselves and our capabilities. Additionally, overcoming adversity can foster a greater sense of self-confidence as we recognize our ability to navigate difficult situations and emerge stronger on the other side. To reframe adversity as a chance to learn and grow, start by adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself what skills or knowledge you can acquire from the experience and how it can help you become a better, more capable person. Another technique to help you embrace adversity as an opportunity for growth is to practice reframing negative thoughts. When encountering a difficult situation, Try to identify the negative thoughts that arise and consciously shift them into more positive, empowering statements. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'll never be able to handle this," reframe it as, "This is a challenging situation, but I can learn and grow from it." You can also seek inspiration from the stories of others who have overcome adversity and achieved personal growth. Research the lives of famous figures, read biographies, or listen to podcasts about individuals who have faced significant challenges and use them as stepping stones to success. These examples can serve as a powerful reminder of the potential for growth and transformation that lies within every obstacle. Lastly, consider seeking support from friends, family, or professional counselors when faced with adversity. Surrounding yourself with a supportive network can provide valuable encouragement, advice, and perspective, helping you to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable barriers. Embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth is a key component of building resilience and inner strength. By adopting a growth mindset, practicing reframing, seeking inspiration, and leaning on a support network, we can learn to view challenges as chances to learn, grow, and become better versions of ourselves. Lesson 7. Be guided by reason. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius highlights the crucial role that rational thinking and logic play in our overall happiness and ability to overcome adversity. By guiding our thoughts and actions with reason, we can make more informed decisions, manage our emotions more effectively, and navigate challenges with greater clarity and resilience. Rational thinking is important in overcoming adversity because it enables us to objectively assess a situation, identify potential solutions, and weigh the pros and cons of each option. By approaching challenges with a logical mindset, we can minimize the influence of impulsive emotions such as fear or anger, which can often cloud our judgment and lead to poor decision-making. One way to develop rational thinking is by practicing critical thinking skills. This involves questioning assumptions, evaluating evidence, and considering alternative viewpoints. When faced with a difficult situation, take a step back and ask yourself what assumptions you might be making, whether there is sufficient evidence to support your beliefs, and if there are any alternative explanations or solutions that you may have overlooked. Another strategy for cultivating rational thinking is to engage in regular self-reflection. By periodically examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions, we can gain a deeper understanding of our motivations, biases, and thought patterns. This self-awareness can help us recognize when our thinking may be influenced by emotions or false assumptions, allowing us to redirect our thoughts toward a more logical and reasoned approach. It's also important to practice emotional regulation, as strong emotions can often interfere with rational thinking. Techniques such as mindfulness meditation and deep breathing exercises can help you manage your emotions more effectively, creating the mental space needed for clear, logical thinking. Finally, consider seeking out opportunities to learn and develop your problem-solving skills. Engage in activities that challenge your mind, such as solving puzzles, playing strategy games, or participating in debates. These experiences can help sharpen your logical thinking abilities and enhance your capacity to approach adversity with reason and clarity. Being guided by reason is a vital component of overcoming adversity and building resilience. By practicing critical thinking, engaging in self-reflection, managing emotions, and honing problem-solving skills, we can develop a more rational mindset that allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater clarity and success. Lesson 8. Cultivate inner peace. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the profound impact our thoughts have on our emotional state and inner peace. Cultivating inner peace is essential in building resilience and maintaining emotional balance, as it allows us to navigate challenges more effectively and maintain a sense of calm in the face of adversity. Inner peace is important for several reasons. First, it helps us manage stress and anxiety more effectively. When we are at peace with ourselves, we are better equipped to handle the pressures and uncertainties that life inevitably presents. This emotional balance can help prevent burnout, reduce the risk of mental health issues, and promote overall well-being. Second, inner peace allows us to think more clearly and make better decisions. When our minds are not clouded by emotional turbulence, we can approach challenges with a greater sense of clarity and focus, allowing us to develop more effective solutions and strategies. An effective way for cultivating inner peace is engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. This might include spending time in nature, pursuing hobbies, or connecting with loved ones. Prioritizing self-care and nurturing activities can help replenish your emotional reserves and promote a sense of balance and tranquility. It's also essential to develop healthy coping mechanisms for managing stress and negative emotions. This might involve practicing deep breathing exercises or engaging in physical activity such as yoga or walking. These techniques can help release tension and restore emotional equilibrium. Lastly, consider adopting a regular gratitude practice, as discussed earlier. By focusing on the positives in your life and expressing gratitude for the blessings you have, you can foster a more optimistic outlook and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Lesson 9. Practice detachment. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Marcus Aurelius. In this lesson, Marcus Aurelius encourages us to practice detachment from external events and circumstances. By focusing on our inner values and spiritual growth, rather than seeking validation or fulfillment from external sources, we can develop greater resilience and inner strength. The benefits of detachment are numerous. Detachment allows us to maintain a sense of equanimity and emotional stability, even in the face of adversity or challenging situations. It also helps us avoid becoming overly attached to outcomes, possessions, or the opinions of others, which can lead to stress, anxiety, and disappointment. To cultivate detachment in daily life, begin by becoming more mindful of your thoughts and reactions to external events. Pay attention to how you respond to situations and practice observing your emotions and thoughts without becoming overly attached or identified with them. This increased self-awareness can help you recognize when you may be overly invested in external circumstances and make a conscious effort to shift your focus inward. Another tip for practicing detachment is to regularly remind yourself of the impermanent nature of life. Recognize that possessions, relationships, and circumstances are all subject to change, and that seeking lasting happiness from these sources is ultimately futile. Instead, strive to find inner contentment and fulfillment by focusing on your personal growth, values, and spirituality. Developing a strong sense of self and knowing your core values can also help you cultivate detachment. When you have a clear understanding of what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to let go of external factors that may not align with your values. Spend time reflecting on your core beliefs and use them as a guiding force in your decision-making and actions. Lastly, engage in regular spiritual or reflective practices such as meditation, journaling, or prayer. These practices can help you deepen your connection to your inner self, promoting a sense of detachment from external influences and fostering a greater focus on personal growth and spiritual development. Practicing detachment from external events and circumstances can be a powerful tool for building resilience and inner strength. By focusing on inner values, cultivating self-awareness, and embracing the impermanence of external factors, we can navigate life's challenges with greater equanimity and clarity. By cultivating mindfulness, embracing impermanence, understanding your values, and engaging in spiritual practices, you can develop a sense of detachment that allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater grace and equanimity. Lesson 10. Keep moving forward. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. In this final lesson, Marcus Aurelius emphasizes the importance of perseverance and forward momentum in overcoming adversity. By focusing on the blessings we already have and maintaining a growth mindset, we can continue to progress and evolve even in the face of challenges. Perseverance is crucial in overcoming adversity because it enables us to push through obstacles, learn from setbacks, and keep moving toward our goals. By maintaining a forward momentum, we can build resilience and inner strength, as well as develop the skills and experience necessary to navigate future challenges. To maintain motivation and a growth mindset, start by setting clear, achievable goals that align with your values and passions. By having a clear vision of what you want to achieve, you can stay focused and motivated even when faced with obstacles or setbacks. Break your goals down into smaller, manageable steps and celebrate your progress along the way to maintain motivation. Another suggestion for maintaining motivation is to practice self-compassion. Recognize that setbacks and challenges are a natural part of life and treat yourself with kindness and understanding when you encounter difficulties. By cultivating self-compassion, you can maintain a positive attitude and stay motivated to continue moving forward even when faced with adversity. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive and like-minded individuals can help you maintain motivation and a growth mindset. Seek out friends, mentors, or support groups that share your values and goals and draw inspiration and encouragement from their successes and experiences. Finally, take time to regularly reflect on your progress and accomplishments. Acknowledge the obstacles you've overcome, the skills you've acquired, and the growth you've experienced along the way. This reflection can help you maintain a sense of forward momentum and inspire you to continue pushing through challenges and pursuing your goals. Maintaining perseverance and forward momentum is essential in overcoming adversity and building resilience. By setting clear goals, practicing self-compassion, surrounding yourself with support, and reflecting on your progress, you can maintain motivation and continue moving forward no matter the challenges life may present. We have explored 10 powerful life lessons from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations that can help us build resilience and inner strength. These lessons have offered us invaluable insights into controlling our perceptions, accepting what we cannot change, focusing on the present moment, developing humility and empathy, practicing gratitude, embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth, being guided by reason, cultivating inner peace, practicing detachment, and maintaining forward momentum. By integrating these timeless teachings into our daily lives, we can foster personal growth, overcome adversity, and live more fulfilling, purpose-driven lives. It is important to remember that building resilience and inner strength is a lifelong journey, and implementing these lessons takes time, practice, and dedication. As you continue to face challenges and setbacks, draw upon the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and strive to embody the principles he so eloquently shared in his Meditations. By doing so, you will not only become more resilient and resourceful in the face of adversity, but will also discover a greater sense of inner peace, purpose, and fulfillment. As we part ways, I encourage you to reflect on these 10 life lessons and consider how you can apply them in your own life. As you embark on this journey of personal growth and self-discovery, remember that the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius is a timeless guide that can help you navigate life's challenges with grace, wisdom, and resilience. In the words of the great Stoic philosopher himself, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By incorporating these lessons into your daily life, you can positively shape the quality of your thoughts and cultivate the resilience and inner strength necessary to thrive in an ever-changing world. May you find strength, inspiration, and growth through the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, and may your journey toward resilience and inner strength be one of deep self-discovery, fulfillment, and lasting happiness.